These heaters have a little bit of a draw in here.
They used to be real dangerous at the old jam room. We
Heater?
had one that would, if it knocked over, it would blow the breaker.
Oh,
So, and
as it would trip?
Yeah, and that shit would get knocked over
Of
all
course,
the time.
then the floor was about 10 layers of carpet and
We had everything plugged into one outlet.
and everything plugged into the ceiling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Into one in the ceiling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of those light bulb
Yes.
outlets.
Two-prong.
Two-prong.
It came down the side of the wall,
Holy shit!
and then there was, a
Power
power
strip.
bar. Fucking ran a couple off that, and we ran, all those old Ampegs and Fenders, and I had that old Marshall TV,
And a PA.
VCR, PA. all
TV,
that shit.
VCR.
VCR,
The works.
yeah, jam box, and then we had the heater.
That's funny.
Fucking blow the joint.
Freaking heaters. All right.
We used to kill us too.
All right. So I'm going to try to time this.
You can do
To work. I think I can. I had to do this the other day for the first time. It was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I got it. I actually did it right. So we're going to see.
Should we actually kick into a song there? Or do we just do the intro and start it again and again?
I don't know. I forgot.
But here we go.
But it'll only be a short little clip because I'll bring it
Sweet.
down and then we'll fire things up. So let's do this like this. Let's start it up. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
I have had a happy hour, maybe more than once.
This episode of the
Last Kicker
is brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
For I am a sinner in the hands of an angry God. Bloody Mary, full of vodka, blessed are you among cocktails. Pray for me now, and at the hour of my death, which I hope is soon. Amen.
All right, here we go. Let's see if this works. So I have to cut it. Show number 302. It is Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. And real quick, off the top of the show, as we're jamming some FTW in the background, we got to pour one out because 37 years ago today, Ozzy pissed on the Alamo.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 37 years ago.
Wow. Today in history.
And I guess he didn't really...
It is.
He didn't really piss on the Alamo. He pissed on the little, the Sepith statue out front. I guess it was across the street. Everybody thinks he peed on the Alamo.
Ah.
But that
I was
caused him
there.
to get banned for
Oh, yeah.
a decade. And I was reading about it earlier.
Doesn't sound that bad now.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I don't know.
You gotta
I
go,
wonder if
you
he-
gotta go.
I wonder if he's
When
gone
you gotta
back
go, you gotta
since. You know.
He has. It said in 92, he went back and donated $10,000 to the Daughters of Liberty, or the Daughters of the Republic of Texas,
Right on.
because they're the ones who take care of the Alamo.
Right.
And then they allowed
Down.
him to
They
start
let him-
playing there again. Yeah.
They let him go down in the basement.
And find the bicycle.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody's after when they go to the Alamo.
Yeah. Well, they only let special people down there. So
They do only let special people.
I bet they showed it to Ozzy.
They may have. I don't know. But he played 2 shows. They said that he came down, he donated the $10,000, said he was sorry, stated that he was drunk. And
Imagine that.
he was in a dress.
I knew that about that.
Because Sharon took all his clothes, so he wouldn't go out, so he just got in one of her dresses and went out.
Or was it
drinking.
just the 80s and that's he was like a drugged out Liz Taylor or something?
That could be part of it too.
He did have that
Wearing
hair.
sequins
Well, he
and all
did,
that
he did.
stuff.
They had
could
matching
totally-
hair at one point.
They did have
It gets
matching
bad
hair.
when you go see a doctor for drug addiction and tell him you think you're going crazy.
Yeah.
No telling what can spin off after that.
Or you're at a hotel, you're at the Anatole in Dallas, sitting by the swimming pool, and you decide to snort a line of ants.
Yeah.
That's
You're out there.
you and Tommy Lee are snorting a
in
line
the
of
zone.
ants together. Good God.
I watched the trailer for the Dirt
What do you think?
biopic. All those biopics look exactly the same to me. I mean, they're interesting, but they all look so cheesy and fake. But if you can
Yeah.
get past that, that suspend that disbelief and like I've read that book or whatever, so
The book's out of control.
it'll be nice to see that come to life. And,
Yeah.
it's fucking crazy.
The book is crazy.
Yeah.
Really, really crazy. And you start going, man, there's no way all this happened. But then you're like, no, it was the 80s. It was Motley Crue. This shit was happening. It was the
Right.
Sunset Strip. All this stuff was going nuts,
I read that book in the chemo ward at Texas Oncology. I bet all those old ladies thought I was crazy.
What is wrong with you?
Is it one you bought or was it one that was there?
Oh,
Yeah. It was just sitting on the end table there. Like,
Yeah.
A book card or something. People buy books for people's gifts and leave them donated there
yeah.
or whatever. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
yeah,
true.
that and jigsaw puzzles. That's
Re-gift.
Or
that's
maybe
the
they
thing.
only do that in jail.
Yeah, that whole story, man. All of them. They're behind the music. I'm really interested in how this comes out.
Now it looked like it was gonna be a Netflix
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean that if it's a Netflix movie, then
Well, it's
I'll get to see it for $12.99 a month or whatever. the fuck.
and
Is that our first
I was
fuck?
trying to think.
Was that our first fuck?
Yes.
Could be. You can say as many as you
Well,
want.
I just wondered if it was going to be Ray or not.
Yeah. Oh, did y'all have money laid down on it?
No. We should have. We should have. That would have made it more interesting.
No, me all
Definitely
too
would
well.
have taken it up a notch. Made it. It certainly
Yeah.
would have made it interesting.
Well, we could bet on something now. And
Well, speaking of Netflix, before we get much further, have y'all seen Abducted in Plain Sight?
Fucking shit. It's the craziest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
Like, I've heard everybody talk about it for the past 2 weeks, and then
I had to watch it. I watched it twice. Like just started it over and watched it again. Was like, what the fuck?
how does this happen? What's wrong with people? And I get it was the 70s and everything was more laid back. It was in Idaho.
They were Mormons.
They were Mormons,
Oh,
which,
wow.
I mean, no offense to other Mormons, but I mean, the loosey-goosiness or whatever, they're a lot more relaxed and trusting, it seems, than most people. And
you get those things that are kind of wound tight,
yeah,
and when they're able to kind of go off the chain, they fucking go off the
They
chain.
go off the deep end.
but this guy, it's just bizarre because he talked the family into. First off, he kidnapped a daughter that was 14 at the time, or was she 12? She was young.
Yeah, I want to say she was young.
Said he was going to take her horseback riding, abducted her. It took him 5 days to call the cops, which, hello, this day and age, my kid's not home after,
So,
the sun goes down. I'm calling the cops right
Yeah.
then.
3 days later, like, no, let's give it another couple of
But
days.
the guy's wife asked the family to not call the cops. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay.
Wow.
And not only once, he did it again. And they
Yeah.
were still friends with the family. And the mom ends up banging the guy that abducted the daughter.
Mm-hmm. And the dad jerks him off.
And the dad jerks him
do
off.
we just give it away?
Spoiler.
You can't.
Oh, the crying
That's
game.
the problem.
Yes.
Just dub this backwards and
Right.
put the spoiler
You
alert
can't
ahead.
give anything away because it's just so over the top, and
Yeah.
it keeps going and going and going. You're just like, and what's weird is the whole documentary. You know, they're interviewing the family and the current day, and the main girl that went through all this, she's just kind of like, yeah, it happened. You know, this is
Yeah.
just what I mean. This is my life. Like it's
Wow.
no big deal.
Right.
This is, you know, some families go to Disney World on vacation during the summer. Well, this was how I grew up,
Yeah.
being abducted by
Some
our
dude.
neighbor
Yeah.
that was in love with me.
And then all the
At
alien
12.
shit.
Yeah, the alien shit. Yeah, I don't.
Fuck. That's all you got to say. And then the alien
So wait,
shit.
spoiler
you gotta go
spoiler
see it.
alert again.
No.
Yeah, spoiler
No,
alert.
okay.
If you haven't seen it, get on Netflix, watch this because it's
Can't
pretty
believe I haven't seen it.
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Usually pretty. How long is it? It's pretty new.
Yeah, it's maybe in the last couple of weeks or months.
Yeah.
And it's only like an hour and a half long. It's not one of those, 10-hour series or whatever. So you can watch it pretty quick.
Nice.
Which Netflix has scored on the what
Apparently
the
you
fuck
can watch
meter.
it twice, right?
Yeah, they're good at that.
That
I watch every one of them.
the other one, the series of where that cult colony up in Oregon.
Yeah, I never heard of that when I was growing up.
Neither did I.
You know, nope, nobody said a thing
Neither
to
did
me
I.
about it.
That doesn't surprise me. Oregon's got all the. That's where all the hippies moved to start their militias. Hippie
Yeah.
militias.
It can be
So,
crazy out
yeah.
there.
Well, if you haven't realized by now, I'm the only one here from the show. Jesse is out sick.
We could play the parts of the other people.
Matt has disappeared. I believe he's going to get shots.
Not abducted.
He's not abducted.
abducted.
He
Not
wasn't
abducted.
abducted by my neighbors.
Right. They're in plain
In
sight.
an RV.
You might need to call him again.
Might,
I'm worried
might
now.
need to call him. But I actually think he's out getting his shots because we're going to Vegas in a week and a half.
Malaysia?
Las Vegas.
Oh, America. Yeah.
And I think he's made a pact to play STD roulette while we're out there. So we'll just see how that
Good
goes.
grief. Yes.
I think that's what he's doing is he's prepping
Yeah, nice.
for STD roulette.
Well, at least he won't get malaria either.
No, or yellow fever or typhoid or whatever else they give you when you go get all those crazy international shots. But joining me in studio finally is FTW, and we'll play the little game where we go radio right to left, and you can introduce yourselves and what you do.
I'm Ray and I play the drums.
I'm Nick, and I play the bass.
I'm John. I play guitar.
There you go. That's FTW.
Wait, in
All
unison,
right, good
ready?
night.
And we
Yeah.
are
Oh, yeah, there you go.
FTW.
And our DJ.
We really could have done this better, guys. We should have.
All right, you want me? I'll delete that. We'll do it again. Ready? And then 3, 2, 1.
All right, I play the drums.
Yeah!
All right.
Oh. So, yeah, we've been wanting to get you guys in for a little while, and things have got messed around, and our schedule, y'all schedule, everything. But
I don't think it's held you
finally
back
got it.
any, so.
Yeah.
But we're glad to be here now.
Has it held y'all back any? No.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
We'd be together
Oh, yeah,
anyway
yeah.
on Tuesday night.
That's when I thought it always worked out good because you told me. This
Yeah.
was y'all's normal practice night. So we're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that'll work.
Right.
Just skip practice one week and come hang out with us.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, we could have just set up a bunch of instruments in here and y'all could have practiced.
We could have
Anyway.
blasted this fucking shit.
Well, you know,
out.
I would have invited
The
you
fog
to the
machine.
jam room, but the last time we did a show at the jam room, I think every cop in Haltom City showed up there.
I think
so,
they did. Not
yeah.
because of us.
Nice.
Not because of us.
I
That
think it was
fun.
because of us.
It could have been.
I think it was
Could
a
have been.
direct result. That was fun. Well, it
That was a fun night.
up until
Yeah. Up until chaos
until the
erupted.
end of it.
Oh, man. I laugh about that. Me and Matt were talking about that not too long ago, just how fun it was, and then it just like dropped off into
Yeah,
chaos.
we didn't. Yeah, we never
And
got
none
to
of us
like
really-
settle up. Like
And that was the thing. Y'all never practiced.
yeah, no,
Y'all never played a note.
not a single one. Not even after you
Wow.
guys left because it was so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
and now we're in the same room. We're all together.
How many bands are in that room?
Well, there 3 of them are mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Rat's band.
Okay.
Barrel Deluxe is in there, and that's really it right now. Stoogephilia will play in there once every year or so when we
It's
get
like a whole
together.
music store in there.
Yeah,
More amps than a pawn shop. In
It
that thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Wall to wall.
A really good pawn shop.
Yeah, it's a shrine to English electronics.
There is a ton of gear in there. A ton. Which we probably shouldn't say that, but
It's at a secret location.
Yes. Very super secret location.
Underground bunker.
it is. There's armed
Wow.
guards that are former SEALs. They're trained. It's
no,
all
they
good.
were actual SEAls.
Yeah, they are. They're actually SEALs
Yeah.
with rifles.
Yes.
Freaking lasers.
That's it.
So, John? Did you go to the dual release on Saturday?
I
'Cause
did
I know
not.
I saw these two guys.
I did. Yeah.
That was a good show.
It was a good show,
What a
wasn't
fun-
it?
Sea
that was a fun
Lion
night.
was awesome.
Sea Lion is crazy.
They're a great band.
And like I hadn't seen them in a while. I was trying to think about that. They opened for L7 at the Granada,
Right.
and I was thinking that was the last time I saw them. And their set there wasn't as crazy. I swear they have multiple sets they can put on
Mm-hmm.
depending on where they are.
Right.
Because Saturday night they were crazy.
Yeah, it was a good. show.
Way
All I
crazy.
could think was the one guitar player needs to tape his pedal down. Man, as soon as they started, he was off like a rocket, and
Yeah.
shit started. His pedal board
Yanking
started
it.
flying, and the whole time he was fucking kicking it and fighting it, and,
I was like, did he
and
super
they
glue those
never,
cables
but
together?
it never stopped. He
Never
he
stopped.
lost signal like one time for a few seconds. He started kicking shit, and
Right back in.
yeah,
They're really, really good.
yeah, they were off the chain.
And then we had Mountain of Smoke, of course,
Love
Uh,
those guys.
as
Yeah.
a 3-piece.
Yeah,
That was
with
good.
Alex there. Always good. And
Yeah.
then it was my first time to see All Clean. I hadn't seen them yet.
Man, I was walking up just as like I saw Zach walking out, and I was like, "Shit, I think I just missed them."
Yeah,
But-
I missed
and it was
them.
like 9:30 too. I tried to time it out, but yeah, fuck, I missed them. I hear they're good. So.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good night of music.
right.
That Saturday night was a good night of music.
I had-
Same
All the
thing
way
I
around.
missed.
I hadn't
missed the
been
first
out.
band, so
Not in a while, and that's the first time I've been out in a while. Yeah, I was glad I went out.
It was really good, and that new dual record is really good.
I I text those dudes the next day because I just had it in my truck the whole weekend, just kind of blah 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 blah. And yeah, I texted them on Monday when I got to work and was like, "Fuck, that's a good record. Fuck you," you know.
It is.
It's good.
And what's weird is it's so dark. Lyrically, it's so dark and down, but the music's so up and fun
yeah,
that
yeah.
it screws with your head. And I don't know. It's a fun record. It's a totally fun
And 3
record.
guitars.
Yeah.
You know, that's big.
That's the other thing. They're
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Super, super loud.
I think we're playing. Me thinks they're playing with them.
Well, we don't think they're that loud. I mean they're loud.
for the birthday party.
We bring them loud.
They're playing the birthday party
Yeah, yeah.
on the 30th?
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch.
Duel and the Gringos.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think we're just gonna stack amps up to the ceiling.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Well, my silly band decided to book a show that night because
It's
Redefine is doing their record release over at Curtain Club, and they wanted us to come play. But I saw the set times, and who's headlining y'all that birthday show? Are y'all?
I think so. Yeah.
There's a good possibility I'll make it from Curtain Club to there then,
Oh,
because
good.
we're playing early. I think we're playing like 9 or
well.
something, 9:20. We're like 9:30, something like that.
All right.
So there's time I could wrap up, drag all my shit out real quick, and
Oh,
then
that's
run
all.
over,
Oh,
head over. Yeah. But I was all pumped because we have another event that day,
What's going on?
the mini golf tournament, the
Oh, that's right.
podcast mini golf tournament.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Supposed to have a meeting to finalize some things tomorrow night with the gang, but yeah. So that
Is it
whole
going to be
30th
like
seemed
teams
crazy.
or something?
So the Methinks are a team,
Oh shit,
and then
we're sunk.
our show is a team. Our show is a team. The Funky Town podcast is a team, and then the Jenny Janestown Mascara is a team.
Okay.
Which is Susie and Rebecca
Okay.
and Amanda. So they are going to be a team. So it's all of us.
This might be pretty equal playing
Oh, yeah.
fields.
Oh yeah, there's already a lot of trash being talked, smack being talked.
Was I
and
there?
everything.
Well, it sounds like the Methinks need to
Maybe.
get a campaign going on, and
Yeah, we'll see
you
how
know,
this goes.
for
This-
America, Ray. Come on.
I know.
I mean,
This
let's
is
put it
the
together.
first inaugural
It's in our
podcast
It's in
mini
your
golf
hands,
tournament,
Ray.
so we'll see.
Okay.
It's in your hands.
I can do it.
So let's screw mini golf tournaments. We'll talk about those later. Let's talk about you guys. How long y'all been together?
2012.
Yeah.
As FTW. I think.
Yeah, they were going before me.
Yeah.
What made them drag you in there?
I guess they needed a drummer, and I needed a band.
You needed
Another
band.
Like you don't have 7 others.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was friends with with Sean, our singer, that we used to have a while back.
Yep.
And
The first year he was with us.
Yeah.
And
and they needed a drummer, and Sean just kind of asked me, it's like, yeah, I just had Vorvon and maybe, yeah, I think Vorvon was around, maybe just right around there. But, yeah, and then I've been with them ever since. I don't know, 6.
We had lined up a couple cool shows. I think maybe that St. Vitus happened right after
Yeah,
that or
That's
something.
that's right. I forgot. That was I think that was
That's a
my
crazy
first
show.
show or
we
something.
have
Came on
YouTube
board.
video of your second show with us was at the Red Rooster.
Oh yeah.
And
The
there's
Four
video
Chongs.
on YouTube of us as the 4 Chongs. There's 4 songs. It's on Hammersaw TV on YouTube, and Sean was with us then. It was his 40th birthday,
Oh
and we slayed. This show was so big. The sound system in there sounded good.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That
we
was
just plowed.
It
He
was
was
a
so
weird
on point.
place.
I watch it over
Yeah.
and over, and he was so on point. It was just
At the Red Rooster.
Yeah.
That
no,
is a
they
weird
hated
joint.
us.
Yeah,
they,
I can imagine.
They bitched about the
Good
fog
God.
machine. We blasted they couldn't see across the bar.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
bartenders were pissed. Yeah.
Now it's like
Unsafe and unreasonable use of fog machine.
Safe and unreasonable use.
Did you blow
I
a
do
breaker
not know
though?
what no.
No. Good.
No, but we played the grotto, and they had, remember when the smoke came out of the soffits outside the building and it looked like the building was on fire?
So that was I was at that show.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that I've seen y'all quite a few times. I
Right.
think.
Right.
I mean, seeing you is.
Well,
We played a bunch that first.
dude,
2 or
we
3
played
years.
56 shows the first year and a half. We played just
Anything we could get on.
we
just
we would
played
play
on.
like
It's the way to do it.
we played like 2 weeks in a row, and then we'd have a week off, and then we played a couple times. We played twice in a weekend, and we'd have a week off, and we played 3 weeks in a row. We were fucking cranking it, yeah. So
Yeah, so what? That's like 7 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it was maybe in like
it was
About this
2011
time or maybe
so we
April?
started up.
maybe
Right.
it was.
So when y'all got
maybe it's
it
been
going,
8 years.
Yeah, it's been 8 years. It was 2011.
were y'all a 4-piece back then? When y'all got it going
It's-
before Ray?
We started
Before-
out 3-piece. Basically, me and him got together.
I had a
and-
bunch of riffs, and me and Nick sat down and just hammered some stuff out. Nick's a good musician, so
I didn't
he
even have
jumped
a
in there with
bass.
both feet.
I didn't even have a bass, and they were like, "Go jam with John," and I was like, "I don't have a guitar," and they were like, "Go play bass with him. He's got a fucking bass and an amp," and I was like, "All right." I just went over there just to jam. I hadn't played in a band in 10 years after School
You
Bus
got the
13.
fever.
And we went over, we went over there and we started playing, and it was just like
were you guys
I
working
wasn't even a
together
bass player.
We
Yeah.
just started
Yeah.
working, or we're just
Yeah.
about to start working
Yeah.
together.
on Berry Street?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember when Berry Street was like a destination?
Happening
You know?
place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a place you were like, yeah, I'm gonna go see this band out there.
I got
have a
pictures of us
couple of
on the
beers at this
marquee
bar, and
at the
yeah.
Aardvark, and
now they don't do that anymore.
same thing there. We played, and they opened those garage doors up. The smoke just
Smoke billows
poured
filled the
out.
whole street with smoke.
But that's the thing. I think I've seen you guys. I've heard sound, and I've seen a cloud,
Right?
but I don't know what's in that
Well,
cloud.
that's kind of our goal. Is just to. It's our mindset is to. You're just sitting in your room,
Yeah.
headphones on, you got it cranked up.
I've
It's
got
foggy.
No, if I remember right, that grotto show. I shot y'all at that grotto show, and I've got photos from it. But that was ridiculous because I did go outside because the room got too much,
Mm.
and it was funny standing out there and watching smoke bellow from the building.
Sometimes I'll just like
Shit.
be like
We've had.
breathing it in.
At Patty Red's, they
Which-
did that.
breathing it
What
out.
show?
Like you're a dragon.
Remember we did the show at the one place and the Crowbar, and the police came in with flashlights and stuff.
We played Patty Red's, and the fog was. They were bitching because the fog was coming out of the air vents in the women's bathroom so much they couldn't see in there either.
Yeah, they had those air circulators.
Nick's really lead-footed
back
on that.
before the
They've
smoking
tried
bans.
Tried to rein it
They
in.
tried
and
to restrict
use
my
a safe
They made
and
me swear to a
responsible
safe
level of fog.
Now
Safe and responsible.
is this the same machine that is used?
no,
It's
no,
not,
no.
is it?
No.
Ours is much
It's
much
Because
bigger.
that's what I
machine.
thought. Y'all's is
Ours is
ridiculous.
huge,
Y'all's is
yeah.
way bigger.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. Of course it is.
And it
We used to have two.
it doesn't put out fog. It puts out clouds, like
we used to
giant
have two
clouds.
and ran them through dry ice and did the low fog.
I don't
We've
know.
got
And
so
that's
many-
it worked out great
We've
for
got
that.
a lot of
It's a
epic
little,
pictures of the fog just like rolling off the stage and
I don't-
stuff.
but it is
What do you use one of those for in real life?
a
Like,
large stage.
like,
Dance
is
floor.
that for like a
Dance floor.
like a Broadway
laser
show?
show.
Well,
That's for like cats.
All the
and
clubs
stuff.
got lights.
The nail show I went to a couple of months ago at Toyota Center, both nights I was watching, they only had 2 smoke machines. They had hazers that did the low stuff,
Mhm.
but then they only had 2 smoke machines that they would let off before the show, and it had to be the same style as what y'all got.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that it's twice as big
Where'd y'all get these?
as the Methinks one.
It was made in a secret laboratory.
And did y'all get in there and tweak it? You know,
No. But if you
Cross
keep
a
it clean,
couple-
that's the secret.
That
That
is
is
the
keeping it
secret.
clean.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
keeping it clean. Who's got to clean that thing?
I clean it.
You
Nick
do?
cleans
You
that
take
one.
care of it.
Marlon cleans the other one.
I got a jug that's got vinegar in it, and
Run
I
it
just
through there.
swap the hose over and run it, and then
What's it when you run it? What's it spit out when vinegar's running through it? Just
it doesn't.
Salad
Spit it-
dressing.
just the smell.
It-
You
it-
can't put a salad in front of it and
You
moisten
spit
it. or
it,
It
anything?
cleans out the
delicious
cleans
and
out the
foggy.
jet and the hoses and stuff. So
when we were doing the dry ice, it spit out an oozy corn
yeah,
syrup like
yeah.
thing.
It would
When
turn
all
back
the
into
when all the
juice.
fog settled, it turned back into like the fog juice, and it
The dry
all
ice
my
would just
pedals
disappear,
were coated
you know,
at
'cause
at
it
one
was
time
dry
with
ice,
like
so.
a slime.
I know that
That's
like
kind of awesome.
That
So-
was always fun. Our secret stash of go down to the ice cream shop
Right.
and get the. They were like,
You know those little
want?"
carts, the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Mexican
yeah.
carts.
yeah, the Heladero
Yeah,
carts.
Yep.
Great ice cream. Just don't bite into that, man. It'll snap your teeth off. It
Oh,
feels
yeah.
Oh, it
like
will.
This stuff's hard.
Keep it on
Yep.
dry ice.
It's that dry
happens.
ice.
We'd go-
Yeah.
We'd go up there before the show. Every time before the show, we'd have to go up there and get chunks of dry ice, put it in the cooler. And
Is it the
take to
one-
the show?
Over on Berry Street.
There was
Oh,
one
yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
I forget what those are called.
I don't know.
But yeah, they were nice people. That
Yeah.
sometimes
That was
they
our
just
secret
give us
weapon at
dry
the time.
ice.
Nobody
sometimes.
else did that at the time, you know. And we had our own lasers, so
we've toned it down.
that's some
a
of the
little
most
bit.
epic shots of all of us is like
With the lasers?
silhouettes with the lasers and the low fog and the
Anyone that's come out as a photographer is always.
We're sorry. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Hey, unplug it! It's dying!
For some reason, this did this last week, and I have no idea
I'm
why.
back.
I have
It's
no
that's
clue why
when
it did it.
that's when the government
probably
disconnected
is.
their signal. They're like, these fucktards ain't
Yeah,
doing nothing.
they were listening up until that point.
Probably was.
That
That
was
probably
them.
happened.
The satellite got out of range, and they're like, those guys.
Now
ain't
we can
doing
talk
shit.
about all the illegal shit.
All right, now we're back.
right.
We back?
Okay,
If I'd
okay.
have
All
known it
the
was going to be that kind of party.
well, thanks for telling me that super secret, top secret thing you just told me. I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head.
Super secret.
Thanks for
Super.
keeping that to yourself.
I'll just take that out of the show there.
Yeah, we'll just edit that right out.
We don't need to know where to buy things on Berry Street. I think that's what we're talking about.
No, it really was dry ice. I swear.
This
We were
is
buying
Uh-huh.
dry ice.
before the
Swear.
dark web.
We played a little bar in the basement, and I swear people were coming out of the bathroom and I could watch them just coughing the fog out of their mouth. It was really thick
goes
in there.
into your lungs, and you can breathe it right back out. It's like, oh.
It is freaking hilarious. I mean, that is the
We would
greatest
use
thing
the dry
ever.
ice so it hung low for a song and a half, and then it kind of, as it warms up, it kind of just rises, and then it's thick. Some real pea soup.
Remember it would roll out and we'd come to a change and you'd look down and you can't see from your knees down. You're like,
Where are my pedals?
Well, that's the thing. You can't move.
when you blow,
You can't see your lights on your pedals or
all of a sudden your
nothing.
pedal board's visible for a second. You're like, as the fog closes back over it, you're like, can't find the front of the stage. You're like feeling with your foot, like, oh shit.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like to hell. Like y'all play a big stage
We
and you
played
want to
over in
run
Dallas.
around or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and you can't. You have no idea where you
No,
are.
I can't even see my cymbals, and I'm sitting,
It's just muscle mememory.
sitting right in front of them. Yeah. Just like hoping they're still there.
Sounds like I hit it.
Yeah. Sometimes could literally not see, like, that's what is that, like 18, 20 inches away.
Yeah.
And I can't see them.
Oh, good times. That's funny. That's funny. So y'all,
And we'll be doing that on March 15th
Yes, we will.
at Division
At,
Brewing.
Division Brewing.
oh my God. Oh wait,
Yep.
in the comic book shop?
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
know. I
Or
don't know for
if
inside or
the weather's
outside,
nice,
really.
we might be outside. It's their
Hmm.
spring heavy mash bash, whatever.
Yeah, we played an outside show there
Oh,
a
Yeah.
year back.
In
and it was
August.
in the
really
middle
nice.
of the
It was-
summer.
It was a fun event.
August.
Shoot.
It was fun, but it was
Is that-
what was like 155.
That's what our
Oh,
live
it was
recordings
sizzling
from.
hot.
Oh yeah, that's what our live recording was from too.
God
that
dang it.
Hey, you remember
That's a
that?
Friday night, right? Yeah.
yes.
March 15th.
Yeah.
Dang it.
The Ides of March are upon us.
All right, I'm gonna have to haul ass to make it over there for that too. I got to show that night.
Where you at?
Well, I think we played late. We played at like 11. It's a Friday, so I think we'll probably play at 11.
That might work.
I think
That might work.
the way the list looks, it's like Stone Machine Electric and them are playing Saturday, and Wofat's playing, and they're listed. I'm just going off they're listed from like first band to headline, and then so we're second to last on that show. We are experiencing technical difficulty at this time.
What is
Attention.
going on? That
Check,
is
check,
twice.
All planets of
Hey,
the
hey,
Solar
hey, hey.
Federation.
Check.
We have
check,
assumed control.
We're good.
We have assumed control.
Check. Hey, can
What
you
is
take that
going
delay
on?
off of mine? Check.
That's so freaking strange. That's the second time it did it. We're just gonna keep track here and see what happens. What if it's a ground issue or something?
Oh, I wonder if somebody's phone's chiming in.
I don't know. I'll push mine way over
I'm
here.
gonna put
That
mine on
was
airplane
strange.
mode.
Mine
Mine goes
What were we
off
just
like a
talking
fucking
about?
bomb.
the division being over on
Yeah.
division for that.
Oh, so
badge.
last time we were out there, we were outside smoking, and do you remember that dude came up, and he was just like, "Oh my God, that smells so loud! I gotta try some, man. I just gotta ask you, could I have some of that? Can I try it?" And I don't know. We never have anything to do with anybody, that we don't know. And Nick's just like, "Knock yourself out, man. Go right ahead." And the dude was all fucked up, and he did a nose fucking dive right into the concrete and
Holy crap!
dropped the piece and blew the bowl everywhere and stuff. And then he's like got up and he's just like, "Can I?" You're like he was gonna ask again, and we were like, "No way,
Get
dude! You
the
blew it, man."
That's right. That
You
was
blew
fucking
it.
bizarre. That was really, yeah.
It was a
That was out front.
Yeah.
Just somebody cruising
Across
by
from the
like out
taco
of
shop.
nowhere.
Yeah, just a dude
Total
walking
scavenger mode, just like popped up.
out. Yeah.
Fucking prairie dog
Hey,
out of
what are
nowhere.
you-
Fucking
Yeah.
He come
What
up
are y'all
like,
doing? Hello?
like Snoop Dogg.
right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I
What
just
y'all
quit
doing?
yesterday.
But yeah, that's a good
Let's
time
hang
down
out.
there.
I
You
like
know?
playing out there. Whether you play I like playing inside the little
Yeah.
the comic book area.
Yep, we played the inside before.
They always, I don't know, they're just nice, and it
It's
seems
very
like
Dude,
laid
Wade
back.
rocks. He
always
very
seems
cool.
like
runs that
like
place
people
cool.
come out too. Just
Yeah.
seems like they have a little regular crowd that comes out.
Yeah.
And
Is that y'all's next show?
Yep.
yeah,
Okay, so it's March 15th, Friday,
And
from
we
6
play the Tin
to
Panther
midnight. Y'all got
twice. We play there in March. We play there in April.
When y'all play there
Or
in March?
June. No, we play there in June.
I don't think we're there in March.
No.
Yeah, I got a show the 1st and the
Ray's got
30th.
shows all around that.
Yeah,
I think
March-
we're just
maybe
going to
it's
be
April.
the 15th, and then we got the one in the
June,
summer.
June.
Well, on the 15th, y'all got
Right.
I'm sure something will come up before
it's
then.
Heavy
so-
Mashes Spring Cheese
Yes.
with Wooden Earth,
Yes.
Arcurus, the Hazy Tones, Beer Wolf, FTW, and Howling Giant.
Beer Wolf. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
That is kind of a
Yeah.
cool name.
I like
Yeah.
the wolf names. I'm always like, oh, Speed Wolf.
Play some
Oh.
Speed Wolf.
That's
Speed Wolf, that's good shit
I
though.
Oh,
like-
what about
you know,
Werewolf, their wolf.
I like all that
I don't
stuff.
know.
I don't know that one.
They've been around here
Yeah,
forever.
I don't-
Or is it their wolf, werewolf? It's
A
one
local
of
band?
Werewolf, their wolf. Yeah,
And there
you'll
was
always
that-
see them on the far west side over there in the rail / the joint across the street.
Tomcats.
Tomcats, yeah.
Are those is
Those
the
are-
I know the rail shut down, but what's up with Tomcats? Do you guys know? Is that place doing shows or?
I
have
don't
no idea.
know. I
I
haven't.
don't know.
I
I was
haven't
wondering
heard
if
about it.
Part
everything
of
was
that
going to
scene
just
in a while.
move over there or what.
Ridgely's
It's kind of
been cranking out shows, you know. So
right.
Yeah, there's
fucking
finally starting to use the main room
Within
too.
Chaos
Like a lot-
is gonna
that's
be
this Saturday.
dude. I'm gonna be there.
That
Oh,
is this
yeah.
Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
and
So
that's a crazy bill that night because Henry the Archer's in the lounge.
Yeah,
So it's like
that dude rocks.
just walk back and forth.
They're amazing.
Have they not been a band
we're
together
at
since we
Mass.
saw them last, like 5 years ago?
Oh, yeah, it's been forever.
7 years ago,
I think-
6 years ago, maybe.
It wasn't long after they were on Ozfest that they went down.
Yeah, man, those guys are good.
It shows
Oh,
that
yeah.
Tomcat's still doing shows. I just haven't been part of that scene in forever, so I don't know. Like what's going on? Like what's going on? Dang it! It started repeating itself. Did you hear that? I'm gonna kill this.
That was the government clicking back in, so let's keep it clean now.
This is gonna be
So
funny because when we
let's take it easy, man.
put this show out, it'll have a bunch of. Every time that happens,
Please stay
that's very
tuned.
weird. It did it once last week, and I have no idea why.
Ghost in the Machine.
It could be. I could just kill that screen.
It's because FTW is so heavy.
All right, and now we're going again. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah,
how
it
long
does
this
that
one-
all the time, you know. I guess it just does it so much when we're recording. Usually it's because of the volume we play at, but
Y'all are
now
so
it just
damn
does
loud.
it. Does it whenever we try to record, I guess.
So speaking of recording, I asked you guys beforehand: are there physical recordings out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got recordings. We just haven't released anything on a CD or vinyl.
You know, if I would have been thinking correctly,
You'd have brought me a
um,
Vorvon record, right?
Well, yeah.
But you did, right?
I didn't. I forgot.
That's twice.
You know where I had to get mine?
Where did you get it?
At Dreamy Life at Mass.
Oh, you got it at Dreamy.
Yeah. I was like, God dang it, I don't have this yet.
I'm about to take them. I got to take some up to Ken and Dan's Panther City, and I got to take some up to Henry, Born Late, and I bring one to Nick.
Yes, please.
And Nick-
I'll take one, please.
But yeah, the
Yes, I
The-
would.
FTW. When are we gonna?
I wanted to bring. I didn't even think about it until just now, but there's that one that that you guys gave me to listen to when I was joining the band, and it's
Well, we had a 4-song
Yes.
demo with Sean.
pretty good recording.
Yeah.
We did
And
a-
there's some
we did an
recordings of
Arlington.
us. but not any. We haven't put out anything. We've never been able to finish it.
We've
for-
we've recorded some stuff.
Don't
that
say
was
it like
good,
that,
but-
Ray.
Well,
we haven't been
It's-
able. Well, that means
it's
the
true,
truth.
We
but-
haven't, we haven't mastered anything. You know,
Yeah.
Well, they say the older you get, it gets harder to finish
Yeah.
to reach the end. So
It does.
I don't know what you're talking about.
you don't.
Ba-dum-bum.
Well, do you guys find that weird as far as people coming out to see you guys playing shows and stuff?
We don't have any merch.
That you don't have any merch
or
recording.
That's
stuff
why-
for people to listen
material
or
at all.
That's the perfect excuse to come see us.
you have to
It
come
is.
see it.
That's
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't own any.
You know
Well,
what?
we try to not play a
I'm
whole
gonna back
lot.
up.
I mean,
This
we say that's
genius.
what we try not to play a whole lot, so
Reverse.
that it's not like it's anymore. It won't be like, well, I don't want to. I don't want to go see them tonight. They're playing again next week.
yeah, that's true.
So we just play it.
Yeah, we pulled it
occasionally.
back quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Y'all might be the smartest band in Fort Worth. then. Pulling this to where you have to
Yeah,
see you
yeah.
to enjoy the music.
Yeah.
Screw this age of digital music where
Yeah.
you can just pass it around to anybody and everybody.
Well, everything we have
Yeah,
though
thank
that
you.
is like on YouTube
You have
is
to work
all
for
live
it.
stuff mostly. So
Yeah.
Did,
and you're like, well, it just doesn't sound as good. I guess I'm gonna have to go see them live to get the full experience.
did we have the 3D VR dude come out? Did he record one of our shows?
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
Yes. We have that too. A 3D of us at the
Huh.
Aardvark.
Is it the art?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That
that's
was a
right.
good one.
Yep. There's a 3D
Yeah.
video.
Friend of ours.
Michael Hill.
He does. Yeah, he does those like VR cameras.
3D,
360.
Yeah,
360 because I've seen the
That's it.
360 stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Mark did one of the heavy mash last time, right?
Yep.
They were gonna
Yeah,
put
we
it out
have
on cassette, but I don't know.
Yeah. They something about that fell through. I think so.
It's
This,
at
this
that
could
time,
be a
maybe it was-
complete genius move, I think. You
Hang
guys
on,
got
there's probably more.
You can't capture this in a bottle.
right.
You
Well, and
just
then
can't.
there's all the the live feeds from Instagram and YouTube and all that. So
And we do practice pretty religiously.
that's what it's all about. We just like to get in the room and because any
Make
time we go
noise.
play out, it doesn't sound the same. It doesn't sound like we're standing in the room. Although we do usually put Ray in front and point the amps
Yeah.
sideways
I like
and
to sit up.
stand in the middle, and we just point everything at the three of us. And
Now, there is something that bothered me,
what's that?
is that there is another FTW that claims Fort Worth.
There's a band that's called like they have a name, but their acronym is FTW, correct?
I don't see. I couldn't figure this out because it says this is their bio. Based out of Fort Worth, this Texas duo is known for their hilarious and explicit lyrical styles, synth-heavy beats, and ability to bring the
that's
party
us.
to
Oh, that's
absolute
us.
any
Yeah.
crowd.
That's the one I wrote.
Okay, so that makes, this is y'all's bio. All right.
Yes.
But I think it's more like a rock rap thing or synth rap thing. But I was like,
I'm not
what the
Well,
hell?
maybe theirs aren't
They're big in
capitalized.
Japan.
Is theirs capitalized?
big in Japan. Yeah.
Maybe they're like
That's what their name is on their E EP.
Well,
Oh,
there
there
is
you go.
there is a boy band. There's a boy band.
Yeah,
FTW
anytime you
in Europe.
adopt an icon as your band name,
But I don't think they
you
claim
run
Fort
into
Worth.
Yeah.
lots and lots of
These
other
guys.
versions.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I don't think they claim Fort Worth. I think they're.
Dang.
I love
it's
it
good
already.
though, right?
So what we need to do
I
is
like
we
it.
need to sample an FTW song over that.
We need to play with those guys.
Well, when,
Yeah,
when I
for
loaded this
sure.
up, I was like, God dang, Nick's got the flow going.
Bring in another
Just
band
rolling
called
with it.
FTW and like
He knows how
We're
to
a three-way
rhyme.
And I don't even
Package.
know how to play bass. So
FTW3, and then there can be or
to the third power.
yeah, squared.
There you go.
FTW
Or
squared.
do the dual thing. Just be FTWW.
FTW.
Nice.
Yeah, this threw me off because I was like, okay, there is an EP. And I got it through here and I was like, no,
Nope.
this ain't it. What the hell? And then when it actually said under the band, it said Fort Worth, Texas, like, what the hell? That's a Fort Worth, Texas duo.
You
But
know, I've not seen that, to be honest with you.
Fort Worth. It says Fort Worth, Texas.
mm-hmm.
Well.
The
How
game is
unfortunate.
afoot. Yes. Yes.
Unfortunate.
We'll be paying.
These look like kids, so I don't think that'll be much of a fight.
Visit to.
I don't think this is gonna be much of a fight.
What we'll do is
Fight!
and fight. What we'll do is we'll have our lawyers contact them. I'm sure
Yeah.
that they're.
What was that
Who's
one?
been around longer?
Yeah, who's been around
At the
longer.
rock
Y'all's been
fight.
around
At the
longer.
rock
Tonight
fight.
there's gonna
Are we gonna
be
wear
a
our roller
fist
skates this
fight.
time, guys?
Rock and roll turned inside out.
I was hoping Matt would show up
Maybe
at
he
some
will.
point, but he won't.
Maybe
Just
he has.
covered in slime.
Just covered in just nasty cesspool of crap.
Empty syringes in his back.
But have y'all been over to the Haltom Theater yet?
I haven't. Marlon has.
Y'all made a
But
trip over there? See what was up. They had a big rock and metal
Alright.
night, and I think there's a show there all day Saturday this week that starts like at 3. And
is that the
I
19th?
think Sea Lion is there on that too.
Right on.
Is this the 19th this week? I don't know. I was trying to. It came up the other day when I was looking around because I want to go over there and check it out.
Right.
I went in there when it was being built, and it looked.
Well,
Not everything was in there. It was
Were
really
we
nice.
recording earlier when I was saying that Sea Lion is fucking awesome?
We were.
Mm.
We definitely were. Local Palooza is Saturday.
Man.
Okay.
Ray, you gonna die? You okay? Sea Lion's not there. Daniel
Oh,
Grubb,
bummer.
Meech Pango, Rose Garden Funeral Party, The Daybreak Hits, Aztec Death, Alloy, None in a Row,
I know
Exchange.
Jack Russell was like trying to, help out that dude, put some stuff together, and but that's all I know. I just haven't been proactive in
The setup's pretty nice.
anything lately.
And when I walked around it while they were still building it out, it still looked good.
Right.
I heard they
in
got
there, it looked
enchiladas
good.
Ole in there,
That's what I've
running the kitchen. Or
Nice.
I heard there's a badass restaurant in there.
I think from what Marlon said, it left something to be desired when they
Oh.
first got it going, and then Enchiladas Ole stepped in and
Took it.
took it, and
So that may be it. That may be what took it over. Yeah, I've been wanting to go by there.
I'd like to play there.
I had a weird journey down Haltom this week. Haltom and Northridge Hills this week. Did all y'all grow up here?
No.
No. Where you from?
I was born in Kentucky and I grew up in Iowa, and I've been in Texas for 26 years now.
Okay, so it was before that.
I lived in Tarrant County as a kid, and my dad's in the military, so we moved away and came back. and
Yeah.
stuff.
And then Ray, you were all over the place too.
Well, I was here since 1980, and I was upstate New York before that.
So that might be close. Do you remember the Haltom City Drive-In?
I remember a drive-in like on the corner of Northeast 28th and Beach.
Okay, that one was.
It used to be a
the-
porno theater, like in
It
its
was
dying
Stag Films
days.
and
Yeah,
porno theater in its dying days.
yeah. Before
That's
it
what I
became
was
like
gonna
a
get to,
golf
because-
course or something,
Where-
or a driving range.
Yeah.
That's what you were trying to
Worm
get
burner. And now
to
it's,
was the
Now it's a
shop.
A
subdivision.
subdivision that's very
But
weird.
you know what? There's gonna be like a porno geist or something over there. Like all the spirits of those people that were used and abused in those movies are buried in that land, and they built those houses, and it's gonna
You went a
possess
different
that little
direction.
girl, and
Because I was going to say there's probably a bunch of seed that was spilt on the ground there.
well, that's where it came from.
And that seed fertilized
Yeah.
that human male seed. And there's your porno geist.
Yeah, it's coming through the TV.
Porno guy.
Totally.
Carol Ann.
Well, I
With
guess
the
the
soundtrack
regular Haltom City
by
Drive-In
FTW.
was on Belknap right before the Haltom Theater. Where that McDonald's is, there's like a
Okay, yeah,
bunch of apartments and stuff. And
Mhm.
that's where it was because,
that old veterinary clinic's right there.
yeah, I went there as a kid and saw E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Nice.
Ooh, double feature.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then I always thought
1981, the best year for movies ever, man. Oh yeah, Escape from New York, Heavy Metal, Caddyshack,
Caddyshack was 81, huh? Yeah.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball
That's
Run
good
was,
stuff.
yep. But
Cannonball.
growing up, I got the theaters
I
mixed
wonder
up.
when that Excalibur movie came out. I wonder if that was
Ooh.
80 or
Maybe
81.
81, yeah.
I don't know.
It was around then. When did Time Bandits come out?
81.
81, wasn't it?
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
I remember that as a kid. But I got those theaters always screwed up because you had the big one there on Belknap, and when they tore it down, then it was just the porn theater.
Yeah.
Nice.
And every time I'd go by there with like my family or something, as we're driving down 28th, I'd always be trying to see what's up. And my
Yeah.
mom would be like, "Don't be trying to see in there." I'm like, "I want to see what movie's showing."
It's not illegal to look.
But you know, that place was there's mobile homes and stuff that were around there that could just
Yeah.
like peek over the fence and watch
Like
full
porn.
blown porn.
Yeah, football field size.
Yeah, huge.
I lived in New York, and there was like one of those X-rated drive-ins, and it was they had soccer fields, and some of the late soccer games, if you were out there playing, they would start rolling the films off over there.
What a
You'd just see,
distraction during the
you'd
game.
see junior high kids over there standing over there until they got ran off.
Like
Stand in the
aliens were
bushes.
landing.
But like, okay, so what do you think the average time spent in the parking lot was?
I don't know.
Did they serve food? Like we started
Yeah.
having all these questions
Is
at
the
work. Like, was
popcorn
there a popcorn
going?
stand and a?
Do you get butter? Do you not?
Do you not?
Fuck no.
Is the place clean?
answer
I
is
mean, does
no.
does the health department sign off on the concession stand in a Spank Bank drive-in?
Yeah, like for free.
Yeah, does it have a concession stand?
I don't know. Does it?
And what do they sell there?
What do they sell? Like
Wet rags, maybe.
soggy pretzel?
Yeah.
Like
Condom, wet wipes.
Yeah. it's like a
Double-headed
The-
vibrating butt
You
plug.
take your display of
The display over there,
condoms.
yeah.
Of, yes.
Yeah.
it's like
The animal.
the restroom in a strip club there at the
Mhm.
fountain where you wash your hands. There's like everything. The guy there has all sorts of stuff set up. You need some cologne. You need some deodorant. You need some. And why would you have
Hydrogen
sticks?
peroxide.
That's another thing. Why is there sticks of deodorant there?
Yeah.
Who shares that shit?
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want. Hand me that Menon speed stick. Let me.
Yeah, come on, let me get a little
bit.
bit.
Fresh.
Feeling better.
Get a pass or two with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Get
do?
back out there
You
and
lean over
talk
to the
some
guy like,
ladies.
"What do you got on, man?
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
I want some of that."
Ooh.
He hands you the stick.
Menon.
Makes no sense. Why do you have reusable
Strip club
stuff?
Tiger.
What are those
Menon.
guys called? They're not concierge. What are they called?
I'm not sure. Bathroom attendant.
Men's room
Attendants?
attendants.
Men's room attendant.
You get.
They don't have some
Is it still $1?
funky
or
French name.
Is it like $20?
What
now?
was the movie where
Piss
the guy's
jockey or
dad was
something?
What was the movie where the guy's dad was
Piss
the
jockey.
the pisser jockey?
A
Piss
piss
it?
jockey.
The piss jockey. Oh, piss boy! You look
I'm
just
only
like
kidding.
the piss
I'm not
boy.
trying
You
to
look
offend
like
any
a
of the
fucking
fine
asshole.
men and
You
women.
look
that-
like a
There's
bucket
got
of
to be
shit.
a French name for these guys or something.
Oh yeah.
Like something real fancy
Mm-hmm.
that we're missing or we just don't know about.
It's a highly revered career and
like the Sumu wiper guys.
yeah.
They are called a bathroom attendant, a restroom attendant, a toilet attendant, a washroom attendant, or a cleaner.
Yeah.
I'd go by cleaner because then you sound like a badass. Like
Yeah.
you're
I'm
a
a
cleaner.
cleaner.
You're a
Cleaner.
janitor
Like
or
guy.
something.
Yeah.
Or
I'm the
you
cleaner.
execute people.
William.
You're an assassin.
What was that guy? Wolf.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, so before we got off on that
That's all
crazy
you had to say.
trek was that led me down to thinking about sexploitation movies.
Like Nicolas Cage and 8mm or whatever the fuck that was.
Not like hardcore
Or like-
weird stuff, but like
Like
the
Ilsa
old.
She-Wolf of the SS.
There you go. Those
Yeah.
and the heyday of those, and of course Ranker put out a list, and one of these on here threw me in this top 10 threw me for a loop because I watched this all the time in junior high, and I never thought it was a sexploitation movie.
Mm.
But and when we get to it, I'll flag it down. But number one was Chained Heat.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda
Yeah.
Blair
Yeah.
in that. That's crazy. And then
Her-
then there was Chained Heat. I'm sorry, Caged Heat. Chained Heat and Caged Heat.
Caged Heat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Both of them had to do with women in prison. That was a big thing with the genre, right?
Yeah.
Women always had to be in prison.
And it always had that one Sybil Danning. I think she started
Yeah,
all
always
of
in
those.
Right.
I
Yeah,
can remember her
everyone.
name.
But this next one is the one that threw me
Sad
for
or
a loop.
impressive? I don't know.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
I watched it the other night.
That was a good one.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
it's been a
Yeah.
while.
Is that a sexploitation movie?
I don't know.
A
It does have
school
Catholic
girls
high
in
school
Heat
girls
or
in
whatever.
trouble.
Yeah, or in
Samuel
trouble,
L.
yeah.
Bronkowitz presents
That's
Catholic.
it.
That's
high
the
school
only thing I
girls in
remember.
trouble.
I don't remember really anything else.
They
from
had
that.
The Sex Instruction album, all that good stuff.
yeah, Big Jim Slade.
Breaks down the door.
That's right. I do remember that. I forgot all about that.
And didn't they have the
You're right. You're right.
They had the other Samuel L. Bronkowitz movie. It was like Cleopatra Schwartz.
Yeah.
And it was like, he kindled the Sabbath candles. She burned the ghettos to the ground. And they were like this power couple.
See, it's been forever since I've seen it.
Cleopatra
But yeah.
Schwartz.
And I remember all the news interruptions. The popcorn you're eating's been pissed in. Boy,
Yeah.
look.
And the gorilla.
And the gorilla.
Yeah.
So then
I'm-
you have, going down this list, you had Girls in Prison, which had Anne Heche in it.
Girls in prison.
Another jail movie. Women in
not-
jail. And then I guess they, in 1974, they went to Candy Stripe Nurses.
I can remember seeing
Yeah.
those titles, but I don't think I ever watched those.
The Naughty Stewardesses.
Don't know
It
those.
sounds
A
interesting.
lot of these didn't
I'm
have
in.
much
Throw one
writing
on.
or
No.
a high production value behind them
Right.
whatsoever. It was some of them are pretty tough to watch.
In 71, there was Women in Cages, which is a Pam Grier movie.
It'll make you thank God for tits when you're watching that stuff.
And then they have
Get you
one.
through it.
This is what threw me for a loop because I thought all those movies were made, like their heyday was 70s, 60s,
Right.
late 60s, all
True.
through the 70s, and maybe early 80s. In 1993, Chained Heat 2 was made, and it had Brigitte Nelson in it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And then there's Ilza,
That sounds like that's really tough to watch.
harem keeper of the oil sheiks,
Deborah Thorne.
and that was the top 10. She, it's the
Harem
sequel
keeper.
to She-Wolf of the SS.
Yeah, harem
Mm.
keeper of the oil sheiks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tigress of Siberia was one of them, I think.
I think that one was further down. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
These guys would
That
always.
sounds awesome.
These guys always would know all the old like biker movies and shit. I don't know where you get all that stuff for like the posters for the old FTW posters with all the biker movie. You know.
Well, those were like Grindhouse movies, right?
Yeah, we just
Totally.
steal it. We just
Oh,
get
yeah.
on the internet and steal it, you know.
Oh, it's
Change it,
swap out
reverse
designs
it,
and
swap
yeah,
out
yeah,
stuff.
There's just a
Paste
wealth
over
of
stuff.
those
Split and cut
those
it.
movies.
That was one of the most fun we had when we learned how to Photoshop our faces on. Man, we got the one, the Bob and Doug McKenzie, and,
Right.
you and me as the
You
Bob
were
and
putting
Doug.
the Evil Knievel behind stuff for a
Evil
while.
Knievel
Little
jump
tiny
in
Evil
every one of our
Knievel.
pictures.
I think we had the Ike Turner light bulb
Yeah.
So
because I had an Ike Turner dream.
Yeah, that's what started FTW.
Yeah.
Did you know this? You know this story, right?
I don't know if I
Yeah, I
do
think
know
you've
this
heard it.
story.
To be patched in, to have the vest. He knows this story. He's just playing it down.
is there
been
a
a
whole
while
jumping
since-
in ritual initiation thing?
It's secret.
Well, you just have to know the full history of the band to be in the band. So
it's
Ah.
a secret.
So there's a test.
no,
You have
You
to
just have
read
to know it.
Wikipedia and then do a
no, you
test.
just- no.
Though we were watching a biker film one night, and I honestly can't remember where I was, but it was two biker gangs fighting each other, and limbs were just being chopped off left and right,
Nice.
and there was blood everywhere, and it was going crazy.
I was watching.
What's
that
the one where
too.
the
Were
guy
we
the guy
there-
peels out on the nun at the very very beginning? What's that one?
I think we were at a show.
Were
or
we at a
something,
show?
And,
And that was being shown.
It was being shown.
They were on like a weird creek
And
bed or some shit fighting.
I think it was like I know I went up and asked what it was, and somebody else did, and I can't remember.
I went up and asked. I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "We get asked this all the time. I don't know what it is."
They just found something on YouTube and
Probably. And I wish I knew what it was because I had no clue.
It was crazy.
It was totally crazy.
Homemade.
We were, I think it was at Caves. I want to say we were at Caves.
It was at Caves. You're
And
right.
Caves always shows weird, bizarre shit.
It was when Duel was playing there, and you know how they have those TVs like in
Yeah.
the corner. That's what was playing.
And I think, yeah, it was you and I talking about that. Like, what the hell is this?
That's crazy. I need to know what that is.
Why don't movies like that be made anymore?
I don't know.
Like,
But
there are being movies being made like that.
very B-rated and.
I brought up.
There's
this,
a movie called Hellbound that just came out. It's all shot on 16 millimeter. He had to have it all developed and all that, and it's totally a throwback to the 70s. You know, there's boobies, there's witchcraft, and all the madness. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I used to go down and get some videos from Henry.
Yeah.
And we would go and watch. You know, he'd have some old bootleg
JC.
Midnight Special and Whistle Test and stuff like that. We'd watch that.
Remember Whistle Test?
Grab a couple old B movies and stuff, and we just go out there and zone out on whatever and get all inspired and hammer out some music and
We
just
still-
whatever came out of it, get a mood going. And you
We
know.
still watch that Midnight Special.
Oh, yeah.
and
Burt Sugar.
For as
Mhm.
I don't know, for as heavy as the music is, it seems like whenever we're out there, or if we have control over the stereo or the playlist, I should say, at the wherever we play, it seems like Nick or one of us will always go up there and go play some Elton John, or
Hall and Oates.
play
That's our
some
go-to. is
Little
Hall and
River.
There you
Oates.
go.
Play some Little River Band,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
Little River
like
Band and slow it down and
fucking
bring everybody.
Throw
you
people
know,
off.
While
Soft
we're
rock.
setting up, it just kind of
It's nice.
refreshes
Yeah.
everybody.
It's like my
and
mom
they're
was there. with me.
Atlantic rhythm section,
Yes.
you know.
There you go.
Get them ready for the onslaught, So
Yeah.
And I was on Teton. We used to walk up to. We'd have it
everybody
playing for a while.
sings when Hall and Oates.
The
is on.
Nights on Broadway,
Everybody.
Oh,
Bee Gees.
that's a rad song.
It's a badass song, and we'd always have it playing for a little bit, and then
That's
we'd
funny.
get up there and just
Yeah.
rip into.
That came
stuff.
up on the playlist the other night.
Yeah, we watched it on the
Yeah.
midnight special, and that's a good version too.
yeah.
If you've ever seen that one, where they're
Yeah,
man, that guy's got like 20 fucking keyboards over there. It looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yes is
yeah.
playing
and
with
it's just
Yes.
tier after tier after tier after tier.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you've got to reach a point to where your arms can't.
It's physically there.
Like you're just. It's way too high,
No, you can't
or
even.
you can't
play
reach
it.
out.
And it's
Yeah.
like set up in like a 3, or like a there's like an island in the middle.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to like run around it, or is there 2 of them? I don't know.
I don't know
But
why.
it's rad.
Well, I guess back then, if you wanted all these sounds, you kind of needed it. But
Each one was a different sound or
Maybe
something.
now
so,
you just
yeah.
reach over and push a button and go to the next program.
There had to
Tone.
be. There has to be a reason that
Yeah,
they
there's
would
gotta be a
even
reason.
set any of that
An
up. you know?
array of keyboards.
It's an array. That's what
It's
it
like
is.
the other day, I was watching old Bon Jovi videos, and the Brian's over there with
Oh,
all his
yeah, yeah,
keyboards
yeah.
lined up, and I'm like,
Man, Viv Savage.
"Good God,
Yeah.
y'all!"
Viv Savage.
Yeah, like, why? Why was there that much stuff around?
Yeah.
Ah,
This one goes to 11.
well, I know we've probably heard that question is like, bands like ours do. That I think one time, I think we were playing at Tomcats actually, and the band before us was a bunch of just real young kids, and as we were carrying all that shit up onto stage, like one of the kids was like, "Man, that's worth more than I'm making a year."
Jeez,
Something
yeah.
like that, and it was like, maybe coming from a 16 or 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, what? Do you need to bring all that stuff? And it's
Yes.
like, well, we don't need to,
Yes.
But
but
that
we do.
100%
but we
I
depends
have
on
that
the
gonna do
band.
it.
conversation in my head every time we play a
No.
show. I go in there and I go, I could take one cabinet and just plug because I run 2 whole systems. And I'm like, I could plug one into one side and one into the other
Be done.
and be done. And then I'm like, but it wouldn't look as cool.
It's like this
And it
weekend.
wouldn't sound as cool.
we got a whole van.
I went on a quest for like just a small little 212 bass setup because I'm going to be doing some shows with Jesse Fry coming up. And I don't want to carry.
familiar with you were speaking of
Yeah,
a what?
it's little
What's
bitty, little tiny. I don't want to carry my 810 coffin everywhere because the places we're playing, we're not going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
I just
2
need
of
some
them.
on stage. Yeah,
We opened.
that's
for-
what I'd play through.
We opened
at
for Jucifer, and they left us
spectacle
about
practice.
3.5 feet in front of the in the front of the stage, and we brought everything, and it was like, yeah, you can put
Yeah.
it all up on there. You fuck yeah, we are. We are. It's probably one of the only times we were actually facing forward like a.
Is
Yeah.
Jucifer the ones that brought through like 64
Yeah, they bring the whole
speakers?
wall.
They brought the
Yeah.
wall of speakers.
Oh, it's
Looks
yeah,
like
it's
Van
insane.
Halen.
Yeah.
So freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like I just wonder on that tour if they went into any venues and they're like, yeah, we don't have that much space. I mean,
Well,
you're stacked
they've-
floor to
they've-
ceiling. And
They've set it up in places before that were like, they didn't have much ceiling, so they set it up wide.
Yeah.
super wide.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did it at the old rec room. They played on like a Friday night in the regular room,
hmm
and set up all the fucking wall speakers.
When
and
they played at
shit.
Lola's, they had the wall went
He was-
outside the door.
Yeah, it went out the side door.
They
like
set
right-
up in the little bar though next door the next night
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
rec
yeah.
room.
They did?
Remember
Oh, yeah.
what became the Rec West? It was
Yeah.
like the Torch,
Yeah,
and it in that little bar. They didn't have anywhere to go that weekend, and
so they just set up.
yeah, like they asked like if it was cool if they just camped out in their RV in the parking lot, and they said yeah, sure. And it's like, well, you guys can set up in here and play, fuck it. And they were like, really? Yeah. And they just lined that wall, and just I don't even
It's
know
like playing
who played
Tetris.
in the other room.
Your Tetris with speaker
Mhm.
cabs. But yeah, when they did that Lola show, they didn't go out the door. They bent and
Yeah,
came
yeah,
around
yeah.
the side of the walls.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, how are they going to get in and out of there?
Piece by piece, man.
And they leave like a little passageway in the back
Little
where
tiny.
all those
Well,
like
she's
power
got
amps
she's
and
got there's
stuff are.
two great big rigs. One is all amps, and the other one's heads and effects. They're running ridiculous amount of power. The cool thing
We
is
played
all
with
her,
them at the rail
all her lights are
Was
set up with
one time,
her
and then one
power
time at
strips have
Lola's.
flip
Yeah,
switches. And,
little push
dude,
button,
They do
yeah.
all their own lights.
I don't
They
think I
kill
ever
it.
played the rail.
Hmm.
I know we played with them at Lola's that one of the times they've come through.
Never played the rail?
I never played the rail. No. Not with any of the bands.
There's the old stage was fun. I never played over there on the new stage when they did the remodeling.
I always thought the
It's
old
tough to play
stage
loud
was
there at the
so
old
weird.
stage because it
Yeah,
was
we
really
haven't,
short.
we've never played there at the new stage. I don't think.
I saw some like bigger bands, like I saw Bongzilla up there and Shining, like some bands like that had some a decent crowd when it was like Long Ways, the new one.
We played a show with, out of all, before they were anything, Royal Thunder came through and played. And I forgot, it was actually that show with Head Crusher. And they're not on there. But yeah, Silver
I
Tongue
just
Devil,
noticed that logo.
Head Crusher, us, and I don't remember if Goat Neck was there, but Royal Thunder was just rolling through town. They're like, we want to play a place. And they set up and played before anybody. And it was crazy. And now they're freaking playing Coachella and shit.
Right.
It's very strange. Like, what
It's the way it
the
goes.
hell happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know if I missed the rail.
All right.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, I missed that there was a Fort Worth venue that was,
We
I
played
always
feel
like
the
to
metal
support
music.
Fort Worth metal
Yeah,
scene,
yeah.
and
yeah.
For sure.
but
I do too.
it was it our home or any no, not really. It wasn't our most comfortable place to play. I like the Grotto. I really miss that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think that
Grotto
was
is
like my
missing.
favorite little venue.
It's always fun to
They
play
always
there.
paid.
Lola's
had a
is
good
always
time there.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think a lot of people.
We
miss the
played
Grotto.
Tin Panther, and that's kind of fun, too, because
Okay,
that
yeah.
stage is set up perfect for us. Just-
And kind of extended family too from Lola's and
Yeah.
Rec Room and everything.
There's a
else.
lot of
So-
old Grotto folks too,
Right?
that
Yeah,
I
just
see
everybody.
there hanging out.
Yep.
So I like it over there too, because you're just out in the middle of kind of nowhere.
Is that
and
where-
it just feels like
That's where
I'm
we're at in the summer.
Yeah,
Yep.
we could
Yep.
we could shoot some fireworks off
With
over
Stone
here or
Machine
something.
Electric. That's Stone Machine Electric on that show. So
Which one is that? The June?
yeah, the one in
Done.
June at Tin Panther.
I haven't done Tin Panther yet. I was scared to get my band out there on it because of space issues. But then I watched Andy Pickett one night put 8 people on stage,
Right. Nice.
and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, then we
Yeah.
can fit up there.
I see people like set up stuff on the stage and then set up the mic and where they stand on the floor right in front too.
Yeah.
Like, for us, we don't have any problem.
Well, if y'all are playing there, we
Right.
can play there.
Oh yeah,
It's
'Cause
been
y'all
good.
are louder than us.
yeah. Bring out some.
It sounded good. That room's decent size.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fun there too. It's good. It feels like the grotto, or like where you're. And anything can happen.
Anything can happen. The Grotto always felt like it had a dark, seedy side to it that you could get sucked into.
It could.
But it was so much fun.
It was.
Such a great place.
Yeah.
I love that joint.
I like the back door being right there by the stage.
Yeah.
I like just
Get the hell out of
your
there.
stuff
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
hang out out there.
Well, you didn't have to load in and then load on stage. So
Yeah, we
Yeah.
tried to count it. It's like, how many times you got to move this stuff before you get to play, and then how many times you got to move it before you get home.
Yeah.
Usually, like no less than 6 times.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say, I think the worst in Fort Worth is Boiled Owl when it's packed.
Oh,
The
to
oiled
play.
bow.
Yeah, to load up your gear.
Well, it's
You got to go
tough.
through everybody.
It's tough too if like, especially like I think the Methinks and Duel played there, and we even shared equipment.
Yeah.
And it was there's just no room for those size amps like in the storage area. You could set them up in the play area.
Yeah.
But it's like you better be taking that shit with you, or
It's one of those places where
it's
I
fun to
think
play though when you do like
I don't think
when
we
it's
played
you
there,
get over
no?
the claustrophobia.
What
like
we do
it's-
the heavy show over in Dallas, and we had to go in through the back door, through the kitchen,
Right?
and do all that shit, and fucking weave through the hello rock and roll Cleveland. Like we're like going
Oh,
through these
man.
hallways and down the ramp through the kitchen, and like
They had us play at like 1 a.m.
yeah.
I was like, oh man, this is brutal.
trying to think of where that might be.
That was at
Our drummer had passed out by
Yeah.
like,
about 10 o'clock.
Oh, was that in Dallas?
Yeah.
At the boiler room?
Yeah.
yeah.
Was that the boiler
Yeah,
room?
that was the
Yeah.
boiler room.
Yep.
I think that place is
Forgot
called
about the boiler
something
room.
like Social Punk
We
or
were-
something
we
like
were in
something
our,
super lame now. It's
There's
just,
a lot of super lame shit over there now.
We were in our session
it ebbs and
of
flows.
spontaneously combusting drummers at the time, so we were totally Spinal Tap for just a little while.
they did go through a period.
The
It
old
seemed.
timing man and
Timing man.
old timing man, the old timing man,
Mikey, relief drummer.
Mikey, relief drummer.
What
May-
about
Mayday Mikey McBride?
Mikey McBride.
what about
relief drummer, Mayday Mikey McBride.
Well, what'd y'all
And,
do with all these guys? Did y'all
what
knock
about
them off,
the
execute them?
methy drummer? He
Took their keys away.
That was
Yeah,
the,
he
the
probably-
old timing man.
locked him in a room full of alarm clocks,
The
and
old
he's
time.
still
He's
taking them
there
apart.
today.
Wow.
Car stereos and alarm clocks.
Yeah, he's trying to get that shit going.
Probably building a freaking android robot with
He's built a super suit
all
He didn't mind
recognition.
pushing the
to
tempo.
take over the world. He did not mind pushing. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. When,
I think the first time he jammed with us, though, he came over the next time.
I know what he's gonna say.
And he asked John. He said, "Hey man, I really dug jam with you guys, but I need to ask you a question." He said, "You guys worship Satan?
You guys devil
You guys
worshippers.
devil worshippers?" And John had a mask that had like horns on it like that.
Had a goat mask.
Had a goat
Like
mask,
pagan
and he
goat
and he
mask.
like
And I grabbed the goat mask and I was like,
shook his head. No. And,
Is that why?
it's like,
Did he
no,
run?
No, no, he didn't. But he was
no.
he was a riot, man.
Hey,
That's funny.
We played a bunch of shows with him, and
nice guy.
you know, he's still around playing. So, you know,
Always had time for a story.
that old Barney, and that was. I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
our
I'll tell you a
buddy
funny
Barney.
story. I'll tell you a funny story.
Dumpster.
Okay, so I've been playing music for. I've played guitar for 36 years. Played with a lot of cool people. I used to play with a guy named Kevin that played drums in School Bus 13, Kevin Rocker. And that guy was amazing. One of the most powerful, on-point drummers ever. We played with Barney, and Barney was fucking magic sometimes. He was fun. At rehearsal, there were times when the way his fills went in were,
It was really,
you know,
really fun.
yeah. He was wild, but he was so on. It was fun. It was badass.
Sometimes
But
when
he couldn't get through a show. Like, you know.
Sometimes you'd play shows with him and you'd have to stand there and we'd be on these tiny ass stages and he'd be just going off, getting all Captain Caveman on something, playing his drum set with
He'd drop
beer
sticks
bottles.
and start playing with beer bottles.
And I just had to sit there with my eyes closed, you know, waiting for these bottles to
yeah,
shatter.
that,
you
and he
know?
would knock shit over. It was fun. I mean, it was wild.
Barney's like one of my favorite drummers to watch play the drums.
Yeah.
Though, 'cause
Who's he playing with now?
he was playing with the Swinging Dicks for a long time. I don't know if he still is or not. But he's got like a drumming style like I've not seen like ever before. It's just like on the edge the whole time. And
Yeah,
just
our stuff
pulling
with
off
him
shit.
was pretty fucking fun, man. Not that Ray's not fucking amazing. And I
was waiting for that.
I got another good story about that too. So when Ray started jamming with us, you know, he was playing drums with Vorvon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so he'd been jamming with us for a couple of months, and like we were fucking hard at it. You know, at that point we had been playing shows and we were ready to rock and roll. Like I say, his second show was at the Red Rooster, and man, we just fucking forgot what I was talking about. Help me out.
Was the first one with Saint Vitus my first one? Was that the first show?
That's a hell of a
Maybe.
first show.
Right.
Maybe.
I think it was.
Here, let's just throw you in the fire. Let's go.
We may have done one right before that or something. I don't know. That may have been it. That
Where
may
was
have
it
been why
at?
you came on
At
Was it
Lola's.
to help
Lola's?
us out.
We couldn't use the fog machine that night either.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
We
agree.
had to sign a legal document saying that we would not use the.
Strictly fair boating.
The guy had. I know he had a briefcase.
What the hell?
Like attached to his wrist, and made us all sign with a feathered pen. And yeah, it was
Sealed it with a wax.
it was an
seal.
ordeal, but it was you know, I mean, our lawyers told us that it was the proper thing to do at the time, and you know,
It was a fun
that's
show.
all I can say about that. So we didn't use the fog machine though. We had a good show though. We rocked.
That's pretty awesome. You're
That's
told
fun.
not to.
We try to
We were
practice
asked
a
not
more
to.
safe
I would say we were
and
asked.
responsible
We were asked.
use of the fog machine these days.
Well, yeah, at that time for sure we had zero. We had two of them at the time, and
Jeez.
dry ice. So yeah,
There were two of them at Toyota Pavilion, and it filled that place. And you're in Lola's.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
So you had a story, a drumming story about.
Oh,
About
so
Barney?
Ray jumps. Yeah, ding. Thank you. Ding, light bulb. I lost it again. No, I'm kidding.
I'm trying to think.
I mean,
Ray's
it's okay.
jamming with
We've
us.
pretty much smoked out this.
Ray's
room.
jamming with us a
We're
couple
good.
of yeah. Turn that fog machine off. So Ray's jamming with us for a couple of months, and then I heard this story from him, and I heard it from who the hell said it? I think you told us that you went in there and they're playing. He's playing with Vorvon, and one of them looks over and says, "Fuck, Ray, you been practicing or what?"
That's right.
And he was like,
yeah.
"What?" And they were like, "Oh yeah. You're playing with FTW, so he's throwing in an extra night a week on the drums." And we were like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, every week on it, you know. So
And then I hit a
no
plateau.
time to paint living rooms. We're playing
About a
music
week
on
later.
Tuesday nights, right?
And you were
So-
done.
And I've been there ever since. Yep.
I can play that 5/4 beat. All right, I'm good.
That's
That's my
yeah.
plateau. Done. Have you always been attracted to drums?
You know, I started. I've been a bass player since I was a kid. But
Yeah.
when
Well, as soon as he rubbed up against a set, that was
Yeah.
that was it. He
That
was
was
turned
it.
on, and
it was when I joined that all the we had a band in Haltom City called Hassle Horse that was like made up of a bunch of bands that had kind of broken up, and everyone was
a hassle.
like, I wanted to, yeah.
I
we
could-
no, I'm just
pain in the ass.
asking. I don't know. I'm just asking.
We were.
Was that the okay?
That was the one. It's with my friend John out in Seattle, and like this friends
that,
I've had for a long time.
Puget Sound.
Yeah, that
same
dude.
dude. Right on,
That
right on,
dude.
right on. Cool.
And Rat and those guys.
Okay,
But
Okay.
yeah.
everybody wanted to play something different, really. Like John was the drummer, and he wanted to play guitar, and Rat was kind of wanting to play bass, and fuck, I've always kind of wanted to learn how to play the drums.
This sounds like a formula for huge success.
So we played around.
Up and around.
We were a band for like 10 years.
Well, you know, every
But,
5
yeah.
years we switch instruments, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's coming up on the annual.
Yeah,
It's
we're
the
coming
leap
up on the
cycle.
second one. Yeah, we're in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm doomed. I'm doomed to the rhythm section.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Until the swap, and
There's
then what do
no-
you take? Guitar and just,
I think.
you
Yeah,
think that's where
maybe.
it's gonna go. Y'all got it right because there's only 3 of you.
Yeah.
It's easy to change instruments. When
Yeah.
it's 4 and there's 2 guitars,
Yeah.
someone gets fucked.
Exactly.
Someone. They just go to their same.
Yeah.
And who's gonna sing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is weird how like when you're mapping songs out and stuff like that, you know, little band dynamics, feelings get hurt, and and just when you're
I thought you
putting
weren't.
that all
I thought you
together.
weren't going to bring this up, man.
Uh-oh.
well,
This
it's
is where we
out there
get-
now, damn
Well,
it.
This
But
is
no,
where we get super deep.
Tuesday.
All right.
It's just like a normal rehearsal.
Sit
Just
back.
like a normal rehearsal. We can't play nice the whole night.
But no, when I've been in bigger bands, it's always it's been something, keep it from turning into everybody solo, as Nick would put it.
Every song.
Right?
Everybody
Yeah,
solo.
yeah.
Every song.
Because that's what it would turn into if you let them.
Am I supposed to sing here, or is
Someone
there
can play.
their lead through the entire song?
I just don't know.
I
Is
guess
this
I'll just go
the
ahead.
Joe Satriani song?
layers of guitars.
Trying to see here. Came across this story this week, and wonder if y'all saw it about Doyle
Yes.
of the Misfits. Did you see this thing?
Yeah, the $50 signings, and he's like, "Man, fuck you guys! Like a $50 signing, you guys are stealing my music."
Yeah, he says he has to do these $50 meet and greets because his fans steal the music.
I don't know. I
mean, what has he done lately that...
paid full price for my Misfits albums.
I mean, they keep reissuing Misfits albums, old ones.
Yeah.
But what has he done lately? This stuff's been around
I got
for 30 years now.
Sure.
I got Legacy of Brutality from back in the day. At my mom's house, I found that the other day. That was pretty cool.
Always good to go digging
They
around.
reissued that on Record Store Day like 3 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And then the year after, they reissued Walk Among Us.
Right.
Mm.
Earth AD. I
What was
found
the
that.
record
That
store
was the
day we
other one
played
I had.
at Doc's? Because we played a record store day three or 4 years
I
ago.
think I remember that too.
That was good. That was a good
Out on
time.
the loop.
Oh,
It's
Man,
fun
yeah.
getting up and getting to do that.
Those were fun. Those are fun shows. I haven't really. Yeah, I haven't played the new docs, but
The sound of
yeah,
live
yeah.
music going and the
Yeah.
smell of stale
They'd have
record shop
burgers.
fart.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to be all Debbie Downer here, but I did go over there one night to watch, or one day before going to Lola's, went over to Doc's to watch Royal Sons play.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird.
I think I talked to the Royal Sons after that, and they were like, we had to turn way down, and it just.
It was strange.
Yeah, it was.
Because they played inside, like, amongst the record racks.
Yeah.
And there were, like, people shopping around them as they were playing. And it's like I walked in, and they were already a few songs in their set, and I look across, and there's, like, a lady fishing through vinyl through a crate,
Standing right next between the drums
As-
and the bass amp.
as Chad's, like, soloing right over her shoulder. It was so strange, and I sat there and I watched it for a little bit, and I was kind of like,
And it was turned down.
Yeah, it was turned
That's a
down,
bummer.
so they couldn't be super loud. But that room is a giant concrete box that would echo
Yeah.
forever if you
Oh,
crank
we
it way up.
cranked it up in there like crazy.
But it was, I thought they were going to be playing on the
Yes,
backstage
we did.
out there in the little gravel pit thing. But
Uh-huh.
no, they were in the store, and I was like,
Yeah.
Watched it for a little bit. It made me uncomfortable.
They
when
were
I
just
left.
kind of like a punk rock thing, man. Do a different, I don't know.
Maybe they were. I don't know.
I went up there, I think, for that same show, but I went up a day early for it. So
Well,
I'm like going through the
Where's the
records, and I'm like,
band?
I thought the band started at 1, and I ended up going, A to Z and what I needed to do,
Right.
and as I was taking my record up to the counter, it's where I saw like
flyer.
big party tomorrow.
And you're like, oh.
I'm like, fuck. Well, I wasn't gonna come back, but I looked through all the records. I bought a Bark Hard record, and I walked on down the hall.
I went to the Royal Sons album release show at the theater.
The
But at the museum.
where they had the fire stuff and everything.
Yeah,
I was there with
fires, twirlers, and all that. That was an
Seeing-
awesome show.
It
I'm
was
glad
really
they did it
rad.
up right.
Yep.
They did do
I
it
think
upright.
for especially for in there, it sounded good. That's one thing I was impressed. I mean, I sat way down in front. That was nice. There were seats.
I ran around.
The old man in me went, "Yeah, seats." This is
That was
cool.
what was cool.
Watch a
Was
rock
there
show.
seats,
There's a-
stadium, sharp
yeah,
stadium
seating. Yeah.
like almost Omni-esque stadium seating. It's
That
that
shit
sharp.
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
And you're down, and I was running around shooting and looking out at the crowd and all those seats being full, with the smoke and everything, and the lights. Man,
Yeah.
they used all those giant theater house lights,
Mhm.
and that was cool too. All of them were on. It wasn't like just here. We're going to turn some on for this band.
Right.
They went all out with them. And
Somebody
They
ran
had
them.
chicks
was
hanging
nice.
from the ceiling and the
They did.
rings and twirling, and
That was a good release. That was a good
Yeah.
release party.
Those are
it was
our
nuts.
Tuesday night.
You bring girls in to hang from rings.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Practice joint.
Wait! Band vote right now.
It's me.
Yes.
All right, band vote right now. Bring in girls. Okay, never mind.
That's a
Yeah.
rumor.
We'll talk about this later.
That's
Let me give y'all some numbers here. Y'all can
They
call.
practice down the hall on Tuesdays too, so we
Yeah,
always
yeah,
run into
yeah.
those guys like at the.
I was
you know-
wondering if they still had their joint out there.
Yeah, same place.
Yeah. We nearly moved in there. We nearly moved this silly show in there.
In
Yeah.
inches or cosmic rehearsal.
Yeah. And now you give away the secret location.
Oh fuck!
No, that's just our mailing address.
Oh, the mailing
that's
address.
the
yeah.
mailing address.
PO
That's
box
That's just for security purposes. So it's,
666.
We're nearly moved across the hall from them.
Okay.
Like where that intersection is.
Mhm.
If they were in this corner, we would have been
in the bunker.
right over
Ricky
here.
Bobby room.
Yeah, the Ricky Bobby room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we nearly moved this in there and whatever Drag the Ocean stuff we were working on at the time.
Would that have been weird with like us like practicing down the hall and it's just like.
Yes.
Probably.
You
I mean,
guys are doing
it
a
would-
show.
It would have been a lot noisier of a podcast.
Oh yeah.
It would have been a lot noisier if we kept doing it on Tuesday night. Yeah.
I always wondered because people are like, kind of, hey man, we're our band's recording out here. And I'm like, how the fuck do you record out here? Like,
I don't understand that either.
they have a
And-
recording.
Well, you have to go up there in the
studio.
middle of the night when there's nobody else there, or there's only one guy
Yeah,
there that
that's
you can
true.
go, hey man, come down here and hang out with us and push play,
Yeah.
push record, help us out, man.
We went up to James and I
We'll
went
jam
up
a song together.
to represent Spectacle up in Denton at a podcast, Warlord Radio, and it's in the middle of a practice facility. And as you listen to the audio, you hear a band like ripping through
Right.
songs in the background real low, and you're like,
Wow.
I mean, you have a natural soundtrack to your show or whatever, but
That's true.
yeah, it was pretty noisy, pretty noisy. And then the space I'm in now, we share with Duel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I went out there
aren't
for
you
the.
fancy?
On some of the nights, they will, or some of the, we always practice on Thursday night, no matter what. But there are some weeks that they'll come in before us and play. And when I get there early, I can open the door and hear them.
Smells like man sex.
And
Oh yeah.
it's at least a 85 to 90 yard walk through the building
Yeah,
in a
it's
maze
kind of mazed.
to get to them.
Yeah.
And once you get back there, and I'm just
I've
like,
been back there once or
Wow.
twice.
they are so freaking loud. Or the building's that transparent.
It's fun to
Yeah.
play that loud too, especially like if you can do it, you know, and you have that space to do it. And man,
There is something
there's nothing like
crazy.
that volume.
Well, this used to
Fun.
be, we used to practice out here with I Was Once
No
Eaten,
kidding.
our little 3-piece.
Wow.
And we, the walls are super padded. We built the walls out. And if you were sitting on my back deck in the back of the house, it would just sound like a radio was on real low. And we played
Right.
cranked.
Just
Mhm.
loud as shit.
I mean,
Hell
Matt would dime out his Marshall, and we would be, my Ampeg, 810 would rumble everything. And we had to put a drum shield up because the drums were too bright for Matt and I. It was way too much. It was just like, God, cymbals.
Right.
I have
But you gotta
started
do it.
wearing my earplugs again, and it's
yeah.
it's kind of added a whole new dimension. There was a while I just
pussy.
yeah. Oh man, I had to after a while.
I started doing it just to kind of
Yeah.
tune out my guitar players. I'm just like,
I mean, like right now, I can hear the ringing in my ears. So, but
Yeah.
the damage done.
And this show's brought to you by the letter E.
That's yeah.
but you're
I
right.
went home after FTW rehearsal and got in bed, and I started giggling, and the wife was like, "What are you laughing at?" And I was like, "The ringing in my ears sounds like a car like doing a donut or just turning real sharp in like the slick concrete like parking garages, and it's got that echoey."
Belt squeaking.
And in my
stuff.
head, all I
That's
could
all you
see was
got?
like the cop in the car with the tires doing donuts, and it's so I could just see that in my head. I'm listening to it.
It puts me right to sleep sometimes.
That's the thing is like when I get
What
when
else
my
you
ears
gonna
start
do?
ringing, like people get all irritated and aggravated and stuff. I'm like, puts me right to sleep.
Mhm.
It feels like just out.
Sometimes it can be a little deafening, but for the most part, it's all right. But I have a lot of trouble just making
Tonight,
Like,
us.
when people,
Unite
yes,
us.
when people are mumblers or just like soft talkers or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, what the fuck? I can't hear this
I've
person.
gotten there.
And especially when you're out at a show or something, it's like I can't hear a fucking word anyone's saying to me. Not a goddamn thing. Like,
No.
you
I
just kinda-
I wear earplugs when we practice. I mean, there's some times that like I don't know, we've been just jamming away, just having the best time, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I can't hear anything. Just scared the
It
shit out
shuts
of me.
down.
Well, I started wearing earplugs because, like, I hated leaving practice and driving home, and it's a long drive from Dallas, so I would turn my radio up and be listening to music, driving home. And I
Right,
realized
right.
that I'm
It's
cranking
cranked.
it way up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really worry about my ears. I'm worried about screwing the speakers up in the car.
Yeah, breaking my
right.
shit.
So I need to wear ear protection so I don't mess up the speakers in my car.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
That's how you break it down. I don't give a shit if my ears are ringing.
I had a little I have like little filters in my earplugs, and they're teeny tiny, and they're I don't know, $30 for a set of 2 of them.
Ultimate ears.
It's
eargasm.
West Tone.
Oh, West Tone.
Yeah, they molded them in my ears and all that shit. But the these
You
little
don't want to know how they did
Yeah,
that.
oh, it was weird. But
He
these
fell for it.
it took so long to get those new things, but man, they work so good. It's like I can hear all of John and Nick together. I can hear all my cymbals. It's just like somebody just turned the the volume down a little bit. I like it.
Imagine that. Fucking your ears turns the volume down.
But you still
Sticking shit in there
but you
makes it quieter.
What's good is you it's quieter, but you still like you
feel it.
physically feel it. And stuff. Yeah, you get all the
What'd you
good
say?
and none of the bad.
Feel like you're working at McDonald's in a
Yeah.
drive-through.
Got to resist the urge to turn your amp up more when you put the earplugs in.
That's the problem.
That's
because
hard.
then you start damaging your gear because you're
Yeah.
cranking your.
I hit my cymbals a lot harder. I have to remember like no, they're supposed to sound like they're broken and
Yeah, I
in
get
my ears.
when I have my earplugs in, I got to stand up against my cabinet because
Oh,
I got to
right
feel
on.
it move my
Right,
clothes
Right.
just
What
to
it's
make
all
sure it's
about.
loud. Make sure it's good and loud.
Well, our amps too are they don't face the drums. They go across.
They face each other.
They face each other. But when we set up
They
live,
stand right in the middle.
I set up like in front of the amps just so we don't. It's easier for me to hear everything and just like give the sound man the night off at that point. It's like, well, oh, you guys need a vocal mic. That's it, right? You're like, yeah.
Just make sure the vocals can be heard.
Only if you want to do half your fucking job.
Yeah.
That
But it just takes out that
happened on stage,
that
actually.
shit where you have to worry
When we first
about
started
it.
playing, they always bitched about how loud we were. And we were just like, this is how we're going to do it. We came out here to do our thing, not do your thing. So you do your thing the way we do our thing, and we'll be all right. And, man, we fought and fought and fought.
It seems to have gotten easier
always seems to be
over
the
the
deal,
last
though.
couple of years, though. Wouldn't you admit it? Like for loud bands, and it just seems like, oh, these guys are super loud and they have a smoke machine. Like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and I think you've got
They
a bunch
know.
of guys running boards that know how you're going to play and are used to loud bands now. Back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah,
it was more
yeah.
people wanting to be more precise.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, okay, it's going to be a loud band. Younger generation of guys running boards are like, okay,
Younger
yeah.
generation of
We're used to
guys.
How did
I'm
you used to?
50. He's
No,
49.
Not you guys, the guys running the boards.
Oh, I know,
but yeah.
I'm just saying, we're...
I'm the baby. I'm the
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
The
of
yeah,
difference
band,
when we
the
used
band.
to go and play live, they want it to sound like a record, and we want it to sound like a concert.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, that's kind of the way we got from a
Yeah.
lot of the sound guys that were really trying hard to do their thing.
Well,
but
we
kinda
came out
weren't.
there for us, right? I mean, that was
There
the
to get
whole
my
thing.
nut,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
We were there to we're there to play a show. It's for us.
And I guess if you're, and that's why
You're free
some
to
of
come out
those
and enjoy it.
sound men are so good.
We'll
And
fog it out. You don't even have to look at us.
they hang around for so long.
Turn
They,
the lights
At
down.
a
know,
responsible
they
and
become
safe
part of
level.
it.
Yeah, and that's, I mean,
We used to ask Dre up to, he'd come up with us to Echo Lab to help us mix
yeah.
the Methinks shit because, I don't fucking know what it sounds like. I can't hear shit. And I'm, my position is kind of skewed there. So it's like,
Yeah.
here's a person that sat in front of us many times and he knows what we should sound like. And, he knows when it sounds good. And not that we don't, but
It's kind of a good idea. I like that idea.
yeah, it worked out. And
Bring
it's
someone together. Yeah,
it's just like having,
Oh, yeah.
he's our sound man,
Yeah. that's pretty good.
But I think there's so few sound men in town. They get used to who's cool, who's not. It's like I'm sure they're like in the beginning they're like, oh fuck, these guys have so many amps and what a pain in the ass. And then you're cool to them, they're cool to you, and like, oh, this really isn't that bad. It's just let them go, let them do their thing.
Yeah, you go to Lola's and Dre or Joe, they just know now. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Here we go.
let's rock
It
it
was
out.
the same at the Grotto for us
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys were always real good,
That's the,
like letting it loose.
I can't remember his name, but the guy that ran Tomcats, the
Oh.
sound over there.
Jason McWilliams, James McWilliams,
James,
yeah,
yeah.
the old trees.
Yeah, that sound system has been all over
Yeah.
Dallas and Fort Worth. And,
Oh yeah.
we were playing over there quite regularly, and every time we
That's
were
a truly scary stage.
That
The
is a
stage
scary
is
stage.
No,
scary.
it's awesome. The side fills. I told the sound guy, I want the bass to sound like I'm at the jam room.
Yeah.
And he turned them side fills up so much that our equipment started jumping around. It was
No, he
Stage,
does,
stage
yeah.
left has a soft spot.
super
that-
fun to
Then
play.
Yeah,
we
you might
blew
step
the
through it.
amp.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I didn't. There was no way I couldn't even set up at the front of the stage like I normally do because it was
Oh, yeah,
gonna
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
cave
yeah.
in.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
totally
I'm,
cave in.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm running to safety back on the drum
I
riser.
know.
But it was I loved playing there
You
because
play
we'd be
on
done,
that PA, and it's awesome.
No,
though.
and I'd be
yeah.
like, "How'd we sound?" He's like, "Yeah, like a bunch of elephants fucking."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yes, that's what I want to hear."
That guy always does a great job.
Yeah.
Puts together good sound for a
yeah.
good show.
That PA was. I mean, he and that PA were in like a lot of. They were in Trees. He was at the main bar or 21st Amendment,
Hmm.
and it was also at the Curtain Club for a lot of years. I think.
And then it went up north to Skillman.
Oh, okay. Skillman Pub or whatever.
Yeah, Skillman Street's pub.
Mhm.
Before it made its way over here.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
I think we went outside. It was one of those weed eater shows, and I was with John, and we were standing there, and it was just like, man, fucking smells oh, Stixy. I mean, and literally,
Smell like a
it was
goat.
like, yeah,
A
we
wet
were
goat.
both looking at each other. He had, I don't know, maybe
They were
been
like
on the
40
road
days
for a while.
into their tour, and they had a bet on bathing or something like that.
Yeah.
Good.
He evidently was
Lord.
winning.
Yeah.
But
He
it
walked.
would-
He walked
it
into
raised-
the club, and me and John.
temperature went up in the room.
Yeah, it was like a rotten egg. It just kind of gets hotter.
I'm gonna step out and take a leak.
You do
You
that.
guys just talk amongst
Oh,
yourselves.
we will. We will. I don't get that.
I don't
40
either.
days, like my whole body starts itching and falling apart and
Oh
stuff.
my
and,
god!
Like
Yeah, like
I can't even wake up without like.
probably got to season yourself to doing that.
Yeah.
build like how do you build yourself up to that?
I don't know.
Man.
I don't want to know.
Mm-mm.
I don't either.
I love
ridiculous.
seeing them play live. They're
Man,
always
those
such a
guys-
They are
good
great.
band.
I used to hardly let a day go by without hearing a Weed Eater song or two.
That's true.
I really like those guys.
Yeah.
They really deliver.
They
the,
just
the
came through,
goods.
didn't
Yeah, I saw him with the Unsane and Zeke, like maybe
Nice.
6 months ago. It was.
they? Was it Three Links?
No,
the
it was.
Feeling Show?
It was a Gas Monkey, the outside one.
Oh yeah,
the
that's
little
right.
one,
Yeah,
whichever.
at the bar.
Yeah, yeah. And then I saw. I don't know. I got to see Unsane on that. Maybe it was the same tour on the way back without Weed Eater. They stopped by the Ridgely, and they played the Ridgely Lounge.
That's right. They played the
little room.
lounge.
That was good.
Yeah.
I always was an Unsane fan. Just to see those guys still pull it off and be just as menacing as ever.
Mm-hmm. On the lounge. Were you ever a Jawbox fan?
No, not really.
Not really.
I'm not familiar with the stuff. I don't want to say I'm
It's
not
all
a fan.
right. Kind of along the same lines.
Aren't they doing like a reunion or
They are.
something?
And I'm going up to New York at the end of this month, and I have a chance to see them at the St. Viticus Bar. They're doing 2 nights. And I'm wondering about that. If I
Oh.
want to go see them or not.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, they're kind of along the same lines.
Okay.
As them. Yeah, that post-punk hardcore DC
Amphetamine
meets-
reptile.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I don't know.
I've got tickets to Uncle Acid and Graveyard, but that's about all I.
And Sleep's fixed to come through again.
Oh, that reminds me. That's that Tuesday before our show on the 15th, so I'll have to skip out on. We'll
Just do band
Look,
business on
yeah.
the air. It's totally fine.
pause for a second while we take care of this
Okay,
band
y'all just go
business
ahead. We'll just
matter.
see. This is how it works. It's a secret inside of how band business works.
Yeah, right. I won't be able to jam the night of the week of our show.
Zaz Cola.
Is it cold and rainy?
It's I mean, it's chilly.
Is it
out.
moist?
It is moist.
Good
The
moist.
grass is wet.
Moist.
Yeah.
Good
I
and
pissed on my
moist.
boots. One of the two.
So, Matt sent this
Hey.
over. I wasn't going to talk about it without him being here.
Oh, good. We got some good stuff. Deep.
It's
deep
not
stuff.
really that good. It's just
Okay.
Revolver magazine put out the
You can
5
save it.
greatest live bands of all time.
Mm.
FTW's on the list, aren't they?
FTW is right here at number 5.
Coming in.
Coming
number
in.
5.
Shit.
So
Told you we needed to get more votes.
it says that this was done by their readers. So this is a
Oh,
Out
none of
and
our
about.
fans can read.
So
our
like
fans are going to vote on this type thing.
Oh,
the
man.
300 subscriptions that are still
Yeah.
out
And they
in
have
the
to have-
wild.
Internet.
Yeah, do people still subscribe to this? Okay, so it says number 5 was Metallica. So
Oh, wait.
whatever there.
So we're number 4.
Y'all are number 6.
Oh,
Y'all are number 6. Y'all barely missed the top 5.
Next year.
Number 4 was Iron Maiden.
Okay.
Those guys again.
Those guys again.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Tool.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
But this is what I thought was cool. Besides number 1, number 2 was Pantera.
Nice.
That's a badass live show. Anyone that went to that wouldn't argue with you.
I wouldn't. It was always the thing with Pantera was there's nothing flashy, ever.
After a
Wow.
while.
Well, I meant. Oh God, here we go.
I love every minute of it. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I moved here in 1992, and man, you know,
Right when
I
Vulgar
honestly,
Display came out?
I drove. I just moved here. I just like took off. I didn't know I was headed here. I just took off driving on a Sunday night, and after a breakup, and drove west from a small town, and then I remember I hit 35, and I was like, it'll be warmer if I go left.
From
So,
West Texas.
From Iowa.
From Iowa.
From
So you
Iowa.
came down.
Yeah, I drove down here in 92. And I drove through Kansas and was like, nope. And I drove through Oklahoma, and I was like,
Nope.
And I got to Texas, and I came down 35, and I hit Northside Drive and took a right and went over the river and crossed the main street and thought, nope, this isn't my neighborhood. So I turned around and ended up in the mid-cities. And yeah, it's like in a rock and roll
This is kind of cool.
extravaganza.
And it
ever
all
since.
started from there.
Been there ever since.
I brought down clothes and guitars and guitar amps. That's all I had with me.
And where'd you stay that first night?
I stayed at the Motel 6 on Main, Euless, Maine, the
Uh-huh.
first night. And then I got a weekly room at the Jolly Roger.
Holy fuck!
Back when it had a fucking pirate ship.
Yeah,
for a
out
sign.
front. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Did the
Jolly Roger written on the sails.
Did the old boy still have all his porn hung up in the
Oh
back?
man, dude, yeah. It
Stapled to
was-
the walls?
So I stayed there for a while. I got a job moving furniture like the next day. I mean, I left a job, you know. I kept driving because I was like, if I turn around, I'm just gonna go back to work tomorrow, and then, you know, then I'll be in the same boat, except it'll be tomorrow. And so I just, yeah,
The Jolly. You survived
Oh,
the
yeah,
Jolly
yeah, yeah.
Roger.
loved it.
This
you know
is
what's
the
funny?
greatest thing
I
ever.
loved it.
I
You know that was
saw-
that was a place Elvis used to stay.
I grew up in Iowa, and I've seen tornadoes,
That's
I've seen
awesome.
thunderstorms, I've seen, you know, all that kind of crazy shit. The first time I ever watched lightning strike was standing under the awning of the Jolly Roger, and it was just fucking
And how old were you at this time?
23,
It's the first time you saw lightning.
24. Like watched it, like
Yeah.
right there, like happened. You know, I mean, I've seen lightning all, you know, but it struck the power pole like across the street, just like. Me and the guy that owned the place, they'll, you know, just
Damn.
we ducked, you know. Oh shit!
So that was a
Yeah.
place right around that time. I was in high school going to Bell,
Right.
and that was where in high school you'd always go take chicks to bang them. That's where everybody took them at the Jolly Roger because he'd rent you hourly rooms.
Oh shit.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
Right,
he'd rent you an hourly room.
Nasty.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
get it? Yeah,
I got a weekly
freaking
room.
crazy. That whole area, man. that place used to be that whole Highway 10 right through that area, Bell Helicopter all the way to where it meets American Airlines and 183. Used to be just a banging strip, from what I heard. Like
Right.
back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, that
Yeah, I remember the 60s.
you for some reason Elvis couldn't drive all the way from Fort Worth to Dallas. He'd play a show in Fort Worth.
He'd stay at the Green Oaks
But
Inn.
he would
over
stay
off
at the
of,
Green Oaks
30.
Inn. He'd
Well, it
stay at
was
the Jolly Roger.
Yeah, it was
He'd stay-
2-lane highways the whole way too. So,
Yeah.
It was
you
all
know.
like old 183 back in the
which
day.
is bizarre. It's like, well, it's only 30 miles, even on a 2-lane highway. I mean, it was only 30
Yeah.
miles, but still, I'm not gonna be able to make it all the way over there. I gotta spend the
you're-
night halfway.
When you're whacked out on goofballs,
Well, that's
30
true.
miles.
That's true.
Oh, man.
And there was another hotel there on the corner.
Gotta
of,
have a sandwich, man. Pull over.
Mama,
Industrial Highway
I'm
10,
gonna get a little hungry.
across from the now QT. I think it's
Mhm.
now a gun shop or something. But there used to be a
a
hotel,
hotel
right
there.
Yeah, and that was another place Elvis would play that
I went
place.
in there when that place was decrepit and like half the windows were broke out. Like I snuck in there
Mhm.
and prowled around all one night, man. Just checked all that shit out. And there was like a big grand like hall entrance where the
It was beautiful because I
it
used to do
was
the same
big,
thing.
Where was
like
this?
steps and shit. And then there was just buildings, fucking rows and rows and rows of rooms, and
Off of 10?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
Highway
yeah.
10 meets Industrial.
where that Quick Trip is on the it's on the
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
south
I know what you're talking about.
west side of the intersection.
Yeah, it was kind. It's
Yeah.
been in
It was
ruin
catty corner.
for a long. It was in ruins for a long
Yeah,
time.
Long
yeah,
time.
Yeah, yeah.
That was about the time I moved down here, and I
I-
remember going.
We
to
were
that
looking
place.
for like skate places.
It
and
was
like,
crazy.
That place
Oh,
might
nice.
have a pool. We went back there and
It was crazy cool, but yeah. So number 2 was Pantera. Number 1 was the Dillinger Escape Plan, which this being
right on.
Revolver probably all makes sense, which is greatness because that is the most insane band I've ever seen live.
I've
No?
never seen them.
You haven't?
Uh-uh.
Well, you're not going to now.
No.
Oh no!
But yeah, they.
You
Bucket,
missed it, Ray. I
bucket
told
list
I told you.
incomplete.
It says right here. Where was it? You usually left a show with some type of memory or a scar, but either way, it was a treasure for life.
I've gone home from shows with like a boot print on my shoulder from like crowd surfers and shit.
Yeah, I've
Sorry
gotten
about
some.
that, Nick.
Sorry about that, Nick.
I got some boots to the face a few times too.
He was doing a guitar solo. It just things got out of hand and stomped on my neck. I donkey kicked a sound man. Got punched in the back of the head.
Oh, we had a bad record there for a while. They all tried to. They were gonna all the sound men were gonna
Wrangle us
engineer
in.
our sound and wrangle us in there for a while. We had a bad streak.
Why
of
would
it.
you do that? That
We
goes
had a
back to
bad
the whole
streak.
thing. It's like, why wrangle it in?
Well, I'll tell you something that sucked about it is
They don't know what
always
they're
came to
doing.
me. The sound guy always came to me.
Why? Because you're
'Cause I was the
rumbling
bass
shit
player.
out of everything.
Well, no, but they weren't necessarily bitching about me or just me. They were bitching about all of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't really give.
I
them
told
an
Ray not to
audience.
put the loud heads on the drums, but he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. So
I play with tiny sticks too.
Ray,
Yeah,
God,
well, I got
that-
2 of them though. So
Whoa.
It makes up for it.
You
It
might
does.
want to have that checked out.
yes,
You might want to have that looked at. I don't know.
It's been looked at.
does it look like a rash?
Does this look all right to
Jeez.
you?
Jeez, jeez,
Just touch the toilet seat.
It just looked like a radish.
Is this broken?
yes.
I think it is.
I think
It is broken.
Is this
I
a
don't know what to do with
radish or a hemorrhoid?
it. Wow.
Can't tell.
Jeez. Oh shit. So y'all are playing a show on the 15th,
March 15th.
March 15th,
Yeah.
and then you don't know what's
Not-
after that.
Not a couple of days ago.
Then sometime in the summer we have another show.
June
Somewhere in the summer.
27th, 23rd, June 23rd.
Keep your calendars open, folks.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook.
If you go to Facebook,
We'll
we
get
do have a Facebook. We
FTW
don't
band.
have an
Closer to the
Instagram.
date.
I would just say go check it out and peruse. That's that's kind of like
Look around.
what we had going on about 4 years ago. So.
Yeah.
Well, there's some posts
You don't keep it
about
up.
shows,
Well,
but we don't.
The videos are up there, aren't they?
We just love to play rock and roll, man. We don't do the. We just
Don't
we
give a
haven't
shit
recorded.
about
I mean, we're
social
8
media.
years and we haven't recorded anything like substantial yet. So
True.
I've
we're just-
regressed.
We're really
too.
lazy and we love.
We
Since
smoke a lot of
joining
pot.
Since joining FTW, Ray has lost IQ points.
I have.
He started showing up late for work.
His hearing's getting bad.
He's talking back.
It's
There's nothing
not,
wrong with showing up late for work.
Not really. Not really.
Insubordinate.
Subordination.
Not really participating in social media with the
He's
other
not
kids.
putting his heart and
Or
soul
not being
into it
social
anymore.
at all.
This is true.
Not going outside.
I went to a show
I do
Saturday and I
that.
saw both you guys there.
I did. I
Ray
saw
was
both of you guys
out.
there.
I did. It was fun. I had a
Trucker
good
John
time
was
being out.
there. Marlon was there.
I almost forgot what it was like. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is especially when it's a good show. I mean, I know there's been good shows. I don't want to say that, but it just seems like I've been a little out of touch. So, and I don't know.
Come
There's
on,
been
man. You're
nothing.
being hard on yourself.
There hadn't been a whole lot that.
Did you say hard?
That
There's
just-
a lot of the same old, same old.
Yeah,
Did you
just
say hard on?
I just didn't want to get out of the house.
Yeah. And it's tough
do it.
when you look. And I'll.
I'm
He's
out.
going to talk about
Full
your beard.
confession right here. I
He's
don't give
gonna
a
talk
shit
about
who
your
gets
beard.
pissed or who gets angry at this because it's true. When you go and you look at who's playing where on the weekend and it's the same 5 bands but at a different venue, or there's actually like a pool of 12 bands and they've all divided up
Mm-hmm.
to where now
There's bands that
there's
are
3
on a
here,
hot
3
streak,
here, 3
though,
here.
man. They don't.
They
wanna
are
give
on a
that
hot
up.
streak
Yeah.
and they're keeping it going or
Ride
whatever,
that
but you get
motherfucker. ride.
you get tired of it.
And then you go,
get
oh, I
bent
won't go this week. They're
down.
playing again next weekend, and their numbers. You know,
And then one of them dies.
oh no,
Oh wait, no. No, but it's
Hollywood
it,
stories.
it does get tiring where you're like you keep seeing the same, like I said, 12 bands
Well, then
playing, but
just
at different venues. But all
Enjoy
over
them
Fort
while
Worth.
you can. They may not
Yeah.
be
You
around
do.
forever. That's what
Well,
happens. To
They
a
may
lot
get
of
pissed
bands.
at each other and punch each other in the
Yeah,
face, and
yeah,
that's the end of the
yeah,
band.
It
Throw
also-
instruments
it
at
It
each
also
other.
has a lot to do with, just me too. It's like, not me too. It has a lot to do with me also.
Because you're just an angry individual and hate everybody.
Oh, because he breaks up
Right.
bands.
You
don't wanna go out.
Fuck.
No, it's like, well,
Band buster.
I don't drink anymore, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, he's no
back
fucking
when I
shrug.
was,
Band buster.
I go see any band anywhere, anytime that had beer or something.
Yeah.
So now it's just it takes a little bit more to get me out. So it's all right.
So
No,
you're
it's all
saying
good.
it's just harder to get it up.
Yeah, it gets harder to get
Like we said.
get it up.
That comes with age.
Yep.
It gets harder and harder to
I don't know what you're
get it
talking
on up.
about.
So on
I'm
the
sure.
15th. And then y'all got all the videos on YouTube.
Mhm.
We can go by
Yeah.
and check them out.
He's wrapping us up, guys. If you got anything to say,
I'm
get
not
that
totally
shit out
wrapping
now.
up because I have something I have to ask you.
Oh, okay.
But
I think we're gonna be like we've been talking about recording, and
We
we
want
have
to
recorded,
record.
and
Yeah.
I sent you a name.
you did send me a name, and
maybe
I'm
we'll
gonna
put something
follow
together
up
with
on
Get
that.
it going on.
Tell him Matt and I sent you.
We're gonna do a 2 record,
And then he'll charge you
vinyl,
3 times as much.
gatefold. We're gonna do a 2 vinyl double album gatefold,
180 gram.
with a movie.
Of course.
It's being shot presently.
Okay.
Uh,
That's what I would do.
yeah, yeah.
But it's not on DVD.
We're
it's
just
on
gonna do it
VHS.
once. We're just gonna no.
It's all going to be on VHS.
You get a VHS and
Limited
vinyl
package.
box set.
You get a
We're actually gonna perform it
a
live.
movie disc. The old
Let's-
What
movie
were the
disc.
big ones? Was
The
that
movie
beta?
disc.
Were beta
Laser
The
beta
big
disc.
or-
movie disc. Remember the big?
The big old laser
Well,
disc.
Laser disc.
Nick says movie. I say it's more of a play.
A
You
play.
know, yeah, because it's like we're gonna perform it
FTW
live.
on Broadway.
Well, sort of
Just work your way off Broadway.
It's
off
a
Broadway,
biker Broadway
Biker
musical.
Broadway in
Musical.
Haltom City.
musical.
Yeah, Broadway and Stanley
course.
Keller down there in,
Yeah, there you go.
in Haltom City.
You can. Well, I was gonna say you could go to the old
Filmed on location. in
porn
Haltom
theater that we
City.
talked about. The
Yeah,
porn drive-in.
There you go.
There's
But-
all those ghosts there, though.
Now it's a neighborhood. You'll just perform it in the,
The
cul-de-sac,
Seeded the earth.
or go to the other drive-in. That's
We did-
They're on Sylvania.
You know, speaking of
Riverside.
cul-de-sacs, we didn't play a cul-de-sac, but we played.
You've played a cul-de-sac. We played the
oh.
cul-de-sac at the park
Oh,
one time.
that's where I was.
Samson Park.
We
That's what
did,
I was going to
yes.
bring up. Yeah, we played a Dorba event or something, like one of our mountain
One of the
biking friends.
mountain bike thing.
But it was fun as fuck, though. We just
Fuck
set up
yeah.
in the parking lot and just crank shit up.
Yeah,
with
dude,
these-
I was like,
mountain
I was like
bikers
the whole
were-
time. I'm like, man, we're outdoors, and everything just goes away from you. So there's no
Yeah,
like
that's
any
so
buildings
awesome.
or anything to
Yeah.
like. Rah, rah, rah.
At one
And,
point, we overloaded.
I'm like,
the
we're running off a
generators, they
generator.
all went out.
And yeah, it was like, man, there's no way we're gonna sound good. No way we're gonna be loud. And we were fucking loud as shit. Just rock this park.
There is something weird about being outside.
Of course, we faced the amps together and stood
Where
in
you're-
between them. Again,
It's
so-
open air.
Yeah.
Like you're not in a band shell. You're not on
pushing,
a stage.
We were pushing the sound out all
You're
the
out-
way around us too,
Mhm.
man.
Just-
It was
Yeah, one of my early bands played a field,
kind of magical
and it was
glorious.
magical. It was so great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was so awesome. I was
Yeah.
like, "This is the greatest thing ever," and I kept waiting for the cops to show up because we were loud as shit. But no,
It was
They
right-
showed up.
Like when we
It
played in
was
front
right
of
there. It
the.
was cool because it was right there at the point
Yeah,
between the
yeah.
spillway and the dam, and
Yeah, overlooking the old.
and
Yeah,
you
the
could just
ground
hear
all
it
went
just
away
nice.
from you.
echo to.
We're
It
on
just
top of the
echoed all
hill.
through there. It was cool.
you
Yeah,
could overlook the female prison
Oh yeah,
Across the
yeah,
way?
Yeah, it's
Right.
down there at the base.
and their little playground
Mhm.
is towards the dam. You can watch them get out there and have some
He's got
sex with
binoculars.
each other.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah,
They
no,
set us
do.
up
I was
like right.
unaware.
Right by
Currently
this,
filming a
like-
sexploitation movie called Girls in the
Sa-
Halfway House.
They set us up right by one of the roll-ins. So as these
But you're
different
only here
mountain
on the
bikers were
weekends.
taking off on the
I
race,
miss you, Susie.
you would just see them zoom past us, like behind us, and then they'd hit this jump and kind of jump into the course. So the whole time we're playing, it's just these riders
Oh,
going
yeah.
off at
That's kind of badass.
15-second intervals. So it was pretty cool. See
That's
these
kind of badass.
dudes just kind of haul ass. Just,
I've looked at that mountain bike course.
oh, it's brutal.
That's scary as
It's
shit.
fucking brutal.
Right.
You just see little things from the road, and you're like, no.
I've hiked that
Uh-uh.
mountain bike course,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dangerous on foot. I'm like, man, I can't believe people ride bicycles on
Hauling
this.
Haul
ass through
ass
here.
down that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that scares the shit out of me. And there's deer.
Yeah.
There's
And
deer back up in there.
and when
too.
we were growing up, there was all the devil worshippers. That's where they were at.
Was it Samson
Don't-
Park?
Oh, nice.
Better
nice.
not go down there after dark.
Really?
They were
Yeah.
over on the spillway, man. Doing,
You'll get worshipped.
You know,
Well, see, all of our Satan worshippers
Sacrificed.
were in Mosier Valley.
Oh, they're down
Oh,
there too.
nice.
And then
They
they
were
were
down
out
there.
at Crazy Man's out by
Oh,
the
Crazy Man's. I forgot
clock
about
out
Crazy-
the clock tower.
The clock tower.
Then they got
Man.
pockets of these
They were on.
Satanists everywhere.
Man,
Well,
they had the whole town on lockdown in
the thing
every
was-
sector,
the clock tower.
ready to convert you.
The clock tower place was creepy because it
It
was
was.
down in that valley, and there was satanic shit painted everywhere.
Oh, it's painted all
Right,
over that
right,
clock
all
tower.
over the place.
And you're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Nowhere, because at the time Roanoke was a little bitty
Nothing, yeah.
hub.
They
There
had
was
that
like
burned out, or not, I shouldn't say
Old
burned
street.
out. It was that old fire engine
yeah,
that
sitting
guy
out there.
put there. Like,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be the entrance to this grand estates and the clock tower. And that was all that
And they
got built.
couldn't, for some reason, they couldn't sell any land in there. I guess 2 houses were built, and that
Mm.
was it. And
We
now
used
they
to-
own that whole area, but I think it's all been raised, and now it's
Yeah, oh yeah, it's long gone.
neighborhoods and stuff. But
We
that
would
clock
go
tower
out
was
there.
creepy as
Bummer.
fuck.
We go out there and listen to the Hour of Slack on Sundays on KNON,
Oh,
like back in
nice.
the late 90s or
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s. For some reason, it just picked up real good out there. So we would just drive the car like 5 miles an hour, just put it in drive and just let it drive down the road. And there'd be 6 of us in there drinking and passing around a joint.
Allegedly.
listening.
The funny thing about all these Satan worshiper areas
I never saw any Satan worshipers painting.
was, like, my mom was always like, it's Satan worshipers. You know, there's your Satan worshipers there or whatever. But what it was kids our age out there just having bonfires and drinking.
Yeah,
That's all
painting
it
a
was.
pentagram,
Paint
going, this will
pentagrams.
fuck with
And they're like,
people's heads.
you know what?
Little
These
shock
fucking
value
kids-
up here.
We'll keep these kids away from here.
Yeah.
I'll paint 666 and a pentagram
It doesn't
here.
work.
Mhm.
It
No.
doesn't work.
Hey, let's melt some candles. That'll be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the thing with Mosier Valley was it was either Satan worshipers or the Klan.
Oh yeah.
The Klan was back up in there lynching someone.
Yeah,
You'd
the
be
Klan.
like, what, huh? And it's just a bunch of kids drinking.
Mm.
That's all it was.
Right.
Because we used to drink on the other side of Mosier Valley, back behind Bell Helicopter in high school. We'd
Right.
go back up there in the fields and
Wow.
stuff and drink.
Shit.
Yeah, that clock tower.
Crazy Mans. Did you guys call it Crazy Mans? Because that's what.
I called it both.
Yeah.
There were some people that call it the clock tower. We go meet out there, or Crazy Man's.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why they called it Crazy Mans.
I remember being, living
Because
in
it sounded
Hearst.
cool as hell.
Yeah, it's like an old hunchback
Yeah.
crazy man out there. No.
Living in Hearst, and you'd be in school, and they'd be like, "Oh man, tonight we're gonna go to Crazy Man's, or we're gonna go up to Clock Tower." And from Hearst, at 16, 17, 18 years old, that was a fucking haul.
Yeah, you're out there.
And so you would load up all sorts of shit and go out there and party all night, and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
And 170 wasn't built. You had to take all these weird snaky roads back up in there to get to it. No one. I mean, cops never came out there. It was out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even think it was incorporated by anyone.
We
there
drove
were
out there
cops.
every Sunday and listened to the radio for a couple hours, and we were never in any danger of being busted at any time.
Right.
When I worked at, I still do. When I first started working for AT&T.
You do until this podcast comes out.
Yeah, that's true. I say that every week.
Yeah.
We had a guy that was on another crew that was going through a divorce and all sorts of shit. And he ended up committing suicide out there in his work truck.
Wow.
And it's before we had GPS.
We're out at Crazy Man's?
Out at Crazy Man's.
Oh, wow. I guess you just got to get out there where nobody's at. Right?
Yeah, it was before they put GPS in our trucks and everything. And before, I guess, that technology was really available to put in vehicles. And, after 3 days of him not showing up, coming back, they were like, go find him.
Yeah.
And so everybody just started combing
Right.
around Roanoke, because that's where our office was. And it was out of Alliance, on Alliance Gateway. And they ended up finding his truck out there at Crazy Man's. He'd ran a hose from the muffler up to the inside. It was a Crazy Man's just sitting up there on top of the hill on the backside.
And listening to some Johnny
at that
Paycheck
time,
and
could have been. At that
Going to
time,
sleep,
they
yeah.
had already torn the clock tower down.
Ah.
And there were people living out there, but he was on the backside where you really couldn't see anything or knew he was out there. No one really drove back there, but it was like 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
That's kind of lonely.
Yeah. That's I want to say it was shortly thereafter I went out there one more time. That was the last time I went. I think since then they've torn all those streets up because they were all brick falling apart.
Right on.
I don't remember.
And they started turning it into a neighborhood. Actual building it out to be a subdivision.
In the high school hall.
Yeah, that place was creepy. Really, really creepy.
Yeah. We had they called it the Insane Asylum out in Eagle Mountain. It was like it's out there by the Nature Center. It's still there. They've actually incorporated some of the buildings into the Nature Center now, but it was like a old alcohol rehab from the 70s. And it was I guess it was like real Christian. So there was a chapel and it was kind of like military style, like, barracks and, like mess halls and that kind of stuff. But it was all painted that institutional green. And, so there was all kinds of stories that it was an insane asylum and the devil worshippers were out there. And,
they never thought of just putting a touch of orange or something in there. Really set it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to
really
keep
bring
everybody
that shit
calm.
together.
At least one wall, to bring the room together.
That's all you needed.
Yeah, they don't care.
Some trim or molding somewhere, just
Well, they're at the
a
corner
little
of
color in there.
Blue Mountain Road and Meacham. We always thought that was an insane asylum. There's an old factory back up in there where Blue Mountain Road coming out of Saginaw hits Meacham Boulevard. And it's the southeast corner. There's an old building back up in there that's got like a road that goes over a moat kind of around the building. It's kind of cool. But we always thought it was an insane asylum. And one day I got to go cruising up in there and took a bunch of pictures of stuff. But come to find out, it was a hydrogen factory.
Oh.
and they did all sorts of hydrogen stuff and delivered it to DFW in Meacham.
Until the accident.
And then after they moved out, and there was an accident that blew the shit out of a building,
All right.
and then the FAA moved in there.
Oh.
The North Texas FAA moved in there before moving further down Meacham Road.
So those guys are huffing that
I
gas.
think they're out
It's
of-
residual
Yeah.
gas and
There you
flying
go.
airplanes.
I think they're out of that building down there on Meacham, that big glass building.
They moved
Yeah,
now.
they're not. Yeah, they're not in there anymore.
Mm-mm. And I don't know who's in there now.
Mm.
I don't know, but that building's creepy as shit, and there used to be weird stuff going on in there. You drive by there at night, you'd see flames and stuff inside there, and be like,
What the fuck is
"What's
going
going on
on?
in there?"
You ever go in the old Fort Worth water plant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That building's rad.
Yeah. All
I
those-
mean,
all
no,
those big
no, I've
pools,
never done that
all those
ever.
Big, those big drying pools.
Yeah, the first time I ever went down there, this little girl's down there running around. She's like, I don't know, 14, 15. She's not driving. She's just out there hanging out. And she's like, yeah, I come down here all the time, and I go right in there. And we're walking underneath the bridge of Main Street, working our way back up in there. And she just walks over the side of the wall, and there's this little spot, and she just climbs up it. The way the concrete comes together,
Mhm.
forms a pattern,
Oh,
and she
right
just
on.
uses the ladder and went up the second floor, went in a window, and came down.
Oh wow!
Opened the door. Here, come on in. It's like, cool,
Thanks, little girl.
neat.
And then she disappeared.
And then I've never seen her again
Yeah.
because I threw her body in the
Good
Trinity.
God, man.
Wait, what? What? Yeah.
Join us next week for the exciting
Okay.
conclusion to this story.
So Nick, I need to ask you this.
Uh-oh.
We're pretty much neighbors
Hey, could you go ahead and call our lawyers?
for a part of it, yes.
Get me ready for this.
And I think
I'm going to need you guys to have my back on this.
both our sons are in the same grade,
Okay. I
and
got one in 7th grade, one in 1st grade.
okay, so they're not because Aiden is in 8th, so he's a year before after. Has anybody ever given you shit about your knives up there at the school? Because you make these badass custom knives.
Yeah.
We've talked about them on the show before.
Right.
But I was just wondering, has anybody at the school ever given you shit?
Well, I mean, I don't take knives to the school. I mean, that would be ridiculous. It's
Is
against
it?
the law?
Is it
And
Is it against the law?
yeah, it's
That I
against the law
didn't
to
know.
take a knife onto school property. Yep.
But no one's ever given you shit for any of that?
Well, I don't take knives up to go pick my boys up from school, so
Okay, cool.
you know,
I was just wondering.
walk them up there every day and take them home, but I don't take my knives up there.
I was always wondering that, if anybody's freaked out, because we live
I didn't think
around a
about
bunch
that.
of super hardcore conservative soccer moms that are all...
I mean, I got a fucking
They've-
45 in my belt, but
Waiting
you
But
know,
that
no, I'm
doesn't
just kidding.
matter.
I'm just kidding.
Waiting
I
for
know.
somebody to
I
break the
know.
rules.
They're waiting for something.
No. I do not have that at all. I really don't.
It's hanging off your hip.
The law,
the hip
won't,
holster.
the law won't allow.
Yeah.
I do carry a big knife when I'm not at
You
school.
do. You do normally. So that's why I was wondering, because I'm used to seeing you normally with it. I guess I just assumed you took it to school
You got like 40
or up
knives
there
on
walking
him.
around.
No. No.
They're in his
Okay.
beard. They're in his.
No, I'm just a normal dad up there with a goofy hat, so all the
Hey.
soccer moms know me. So,
It's a good deal.
yeah.
It's a
Do they
good
go to
deal.
the same
It's a good
school?
school.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the same school. I thought they were in the same grade. For some reason, I was thinking my son and your son were in the same grade.
Can he walk here there?
My
Yeah.
son?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad. This is the same neighborhood I grew up in
Right on.
up until I reached 8th grade. At 8th grade, they had just pushed 8th grade into Richland.
Mm.
I was there for 2 weeks, and they were like, no, because my family had already moved. My parents moved to Hearst, but my mom was still bringing me over here every morning. Somehow they found out,
Oh, bummer.
and they were like, no. So then I had to
Some
get
dirty rat.
in. I had to move into HEB school district, and when I did, their 8th grade was still in junior high. So after having 2 weeks taste of high school, how cool this was, I had to go back to a little bitty ass Hearst Junior High.
Back to the kids.
And I was like, oh, this sucks.
Fucking
Damn.
A.
We
And
only
the-
had one middle school growing up, so it was just 6th, 7th, and 8th grade,
Yeah.
and then you went on. So
Yeah, it was this weird time where they tried to, like, I guess around here it was 1st through 6th was elementary. And then 7, 8, 9, junior
Junior
and
high.
then
Junior
10th,
high.
11th, 12th. And then they did the whole shifting. And when I finished 6th grade in elementary, but when I moved to Richland Middle, 6th came with us. So I wasn't the youngest in the school.
Mm.
So I didn't have to worry about this whole,
Oh,
when you get to
right.
junior high, you're
Yeah.
going to be the youngest. You're going to get your ass beat. by
yeah,
the
that's
ninth
what
graders
they
or whatever.
always say.
So they moved it to 6th, 7th, 8th, and then 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th in high school. Well, went all through middle school, got into up to Hearst Junior High, or I'm sorry, to Richland. Those first 2 weeks, and then back down for 9th grade, back
Yeah,
to
that's a bummer.
Hearst Junior
Mhm.
High. It sucked.
It was like all those guys. It might have been you guys right around the time for, I don't know, when they
Well, the
lowered
Declaration of Independence had just been signed.
when they lowered
And,
the drinking age
Yeah.
to 18.
Oh, yeah.
How did that
Oh,
miss you guys?
My ex-wife was old enough to buy beer, and then they changed the law, but she could still buy beer.
They
I
still
was
live in.
younger than
yeah,
her
they
and couldn't
I was
buy
in
it.
Iowa,
In
and I
Iowa,
lived in
yeah.
Nebraska during high school, and that's when it had just changed. So we used to drive over to Iowa to buy beer. You go across the river, and they didn't care because they were still, kids a year older than us that were still grandfathered in. So for 3 or 4 years.
Is that how that worked? If you could bought
Once
it, you
they
were
give you a
grandfathered
right,
in?
yeah,
they usually write something to where they don't have to take it away again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I
My
could-
in those
friend's
cases,
brother was 18.
Because that's exactly what happened.
Got to
My-
drink, and
yeah,
then they
my ex-wife
raised it
was-
to 21, and he got to keep.
Yep.
He drank for like a couple of years, and then they couldn't take it away. They just lowered the age, but he had some kind
Not
of
that we
thing.
condone drinking underage, of course.
We're driving across state lines to do it.
This show brought to you by TX Whiskey and Shiner Black Beer.
Let the good times roll.
Let the
Drink
good times-
responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms proudly presents.
Yeah, I forgot about that, being grandfathered in. Totally. Way to start Alcoholics Out Young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, we don't want to take this away from you. We know your body is already full of it. We don't need you to go through
He
any
just said we're
the
full
shakes
You've
or
tasted the
withdrawal.
sweet
You've
nectar.
tasted the sweet nectar of the devil.
we can't take it back now.
So we'll just grandfather you in. They give you a little like certificate that you had to show at the.
of it. No, they just knew if you
7-Eleven?
were already 18.
No,
by
You're
the
good.
it just
date
came
of your
down to where the age of the cutoff. Once those
birth
kids
date. Yep.
hit 21, they were just really strict after that. Once there were no
Yep.
underage people, once they had those people had matured, they were just as strict on the 21 as everybody else.
So
Just
now,
allegedly.
technically, right now, you can be 18 and go buy weed if you're in a state where it's legal,
I think it's
Is
18.
it 18?
I
but
don't
you
know.
can't buy
I don't know.
alcohol.
I don't
I
know.
believe it's 18,
Yeah, I don't know.
but you can't buy alcohol.
It's not 21.
I would
In
hope
those
it
days,
would
it's
be,
18?
but I
No
don't
kidding.
know. They'd never really asked me.
I
I
don't
guess I look like I'm.
Man, for
100
some
years
reason, I'm
old.
thinking it was 21 the last place we went. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, once you reach a certain age, you're just like, I don't give a shit. I mean, why would I ever check
Fuck
this?
those kids.
Right?
I don't give a fuck if they get weed or not.
I don't give a flip.
Look, I haven't had to worry about my age
More
in
for
years.
me, motherfucker.
Let's
So
see.
you kids on the inside.
Yeah. 2 years.
Here's you some devil's lettuce.
2 for 1. I mean,
Okay, so Colorado shows 21.
Right, that's what I thought.
Let's see here. California's 18.
California.
Is that
kidding.
right? Da-da-da-da-da. Yes, if you're 18 or older, you can obtain a medical marijuana card and receive it in both California and Colorado.
Oh.
You can't buy recreational.
That makes sense. If your doctor tells you,
You gotta
Yeah,
be
at
careful,
18.
though. That can
little
keep
Johnny.
you out of job opportunities, though.
It
Keep you
can.
from getting a CDL. Can keep you from getting different licenses. And
you can't be an astronaut. I mean, you would think. But
Stunt your
You can be
growth.
president.
You can't be president. He never exhaled.
no, it was the other way.
No, he never inhaled.
Right? He never.
You sure he never exhaled? I think he's still holding it.
That's why he talks like that.
He does. It's all
It's
one
me.
exhaled vocal voice.
Do you like barbecue? Really good barbecue.
Good barbecue. Really good.
So that's amazing.
He's still holding it.
So yeah, okay. So if you have a card, you can buy it, but you can't buy
All right.
beer.
That's interesting. But what if your doctor gave you a prescription for beer? I bet you could go buy it
So what is that? That's like
if you're 18.
Ray, what kind of doctor are you going to?
The
That-
same kind that'll give you
That'd be expensive
weed
beer. I
for
bet.
backaches
Oh,
and shit.
So when
Same kind.
when my biological dad went through all his lymphoma treatments, he had a lot of chemotherapy treatments and everything,
Right.
and it fucked
Weed
up
works
all
good.
his the iron in his blood, like kept going up and down and fluctuating. And the doctor kept getting freaked out every time they checked out. I was like, what is going on? You know, and had him write down, you know, and think about what he's been doing different. And he said, well, since I finished chemo, I started drinking beer again. And the doctor's like, well, keep drinking it because it's making your iron
Oh,
shoot up in your beer or in your blood.
Wow.
Yeah.
And actually prescribed him a beer a
Beer.
day. A
Wow.
beer a day.
Keeps the doctor away,
It's a
apparently.
good doctor.
It's kind of awesome.
Huh.
Kind of cool.
I told my chemo doc, my oncologist, I told him, like, yeah, I'm gonna be smoking some weed. So he's like, oh, good. He's like, I couldn't really come right out and tell you to do that, but
Not in
since you
Texas.
admitted it to me, he said I can tell you that I know it'll help with your appetite. And you know, he wasn't claiming any like magical, like it'll cure your
Yeah.
cancer, but it sure did. Like I'd come home and I'd feel like shit and not want to eat, like, and I hadn't eaten all day. It's like I should eat, but I can't.
Yeah.
And then I'd smoke a bowl and I'd be like, fuck, I'm about to eat
Be
those
out there making
raviolis
fucking spaghetti.
and Captain
How'd you feel
Crunch.
physically doing that?
What do you mean?
Like, did you have strength back and be like, oh, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I can't remember any of that. It just seems like I would get hungry and be
you'd
like,
get
fuck,
hungry
I'd
again,
get up
yeah.
and make myself something to eat. And yeah, it wasn't.
Which that's good because I mean, then the food's gonna feed you
Yeah,
or
it,
give you strength.
it helped out quite a bit. I mean, because, you know, you roll out of there going, I don't feel like eating anything.
Yeah.
The smell of metal makes you sick, or, you know, whatever weird
Right.
shit goes on, you know.
Mm.
Just saying that.
That shit's crazy, man. I mean, you're just giving yourself
not the metal.
poison to kill something, you know. But if it kills it, it kills it.
Yeah. Makes you makes you get the munchies.
And then
That's
you
a
get
proven.
super hungry.
That's a proven scientific fucking fact right there.
There you go. Well, it's been a fun night.
Shit, yeah.
We've gone for a while now.
Seems like the bartender just blinked the lights at us.
Yeah, it's closing time. One last call. Let's do this. Okay, so
All right, you guys ready? Bum-ba-dee-da, 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 bum. We trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather. 2, 3, happy trails to you till we meet again.
that will now be the closing to every show we ever do ever. It's done.
Yes.
That was done.
Yes.
All right, so find you guys on Facebook.
Yeah.
You
We're
got-
not. We won't be there, but you can leave a,
Yeah, you can leave a message for you. You can comment on their page. You can follow them. FTW.
We are booking shows. We're just not booking a
FTW's
bunch
not
of
home
them.
right now, but if you leave your name and number after the beep, we'll get back to you.
And then if you see something up there that says we're big in Japan or something, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
And it's two guys that are DJs. That's the wrong one.
We'll make sure we're never big in Japan.
Never be big in Japan.
Well, you can just send them a message and they'll forward it to us. We've already
There you
talked to them
go.
about that.
There you go. Y'all can share stuff
They're
back and
cool
forth.
with it, so,
And then
we do the same for them.
March 15th at Division
Mm-hmm.
for the
Spring cheese,
Heavy Bash.
heavy mash,
Heavy Mash.
heavy mash bash.
Heavy bash.
Y'all are night one, which is
Yep,
Friday night. It's a 2-night event.
Wooden
and
Earth
then
is playing with us that night. That's
Kinda
gonna be
cool.
good.
It's always fun out there.
it is always fun out there. And then y'all have some time in June somewhere
We're at the
We'll
Tin
be at
Panther.
the Tin Panther, yeah.
at the Tin Panther.
It's so far into the future.
Into the future.
The date
Yes.
is
At the Tin Panther.
It's
It's
so
fuzzy.
far out there. All right. Well, it's been fun, guys.
Thanks for having us in on our Tuesday night.
Yeah,
On
we
a
dig
nice,
your
cold, dreary
tower of
Tuesday
power,
night.
man. This is
You
this
did?
is
Oh,
awesome.
well,
We're
thank
here
you,
in the
thank you.
lair.
There.
The
in the temple. We call this the temple.
I like the bridge coming out to it. That's
like
just
that.
like
That is the product of drunkenness.
I was really happy when we
That's
came around the
totally-
building that it wasn't actually an intervention. I was gonna be so let down.
He was
at you
worried
two-
on the way
you two
over here.
guys.
he was worried
He
we
thought
were
it was
going to
a
get
whole
here and his
intervention.
mom was going to be here. And
I took a look around. I didn't see my grandparents' car, so
Well, at
thought
least you had
everything was all right.
you had two friends with you. There's sometimes one guy will show up to to talk or be on the show or whatever, and he's like, "I thought you guys were gonna kill me. I really am." It's like I thought y'all had a grinder.
Well,
out
we
here.
were
We're just gonna
wondering
grind up
about
my
just
body.
coming around the building. We were like, you obviously hope you're at the right, address. So
Yeah.
that, there's no awkward,
I told you I'd try to put the dog up,
Mhm.
so lucked out with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, y'all did good. All right, well, let's get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all have a good
Okay.
evening. All right, good night. All right, we're good.
That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
That was amazing.
It happens. All right, I'm gonna kill all these chat rooms and everything.
Did Marlon chime in?
I saw him come in the chat room, but I don't think he didn't say anything,
Okay.
and he went. I didn't see him in there for long. Let's see here. I don't know what's going on here.